Black book. You know what time it is. 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 Hey guys, welcome to LITTLEBLACKBOOK91. We are back with another one. Yes, you know, if you already know, if you're part of this channel, you saw me. We really went live the last time. You get me? We got an impromptu thing there. Well, listen, we're back to do things on an official wavelength. And I have brought back somebody big, somebody strong, somebody competitive, somebody powerful. You understand? I brought back Javen from Love is Blind season 2. So listen, give him please some respect. You know what I'm saying to you? Respect. You understand? Yeah. I'm playing with y'all. Javen, how we doing, man?
I'm very well. Thank you. And apologies for getting the last one taken down. I'm glad I really wanted to redo it. Like I was eager to redo it because I wanted that one to stay up. So yeah, I'm glad we're here.
Okay. Don't worry, man. Time and seasons for everything under the sun, they say. Well, listen, Javen, listen, we're gonna get into some festivities, but before we do, we gotta do a little human verification. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure that you are who you say you are. I gotta make sure that you genuinely are not AI and you are not a robot, sir. So I've got some icebreakers for you. Is that okay?
All right, cool. That's absolutely fine.
Fantastic. Let's throw you straight in. One word to describe your connection with Katisha.
Eventful.
Love that. One word to describe your time on Love is Blind.
Misrepresented.
One word to describe yourself.
Cerebral.
That's what I like to hear. Okay, the brother said cerebral. All right, my last question is milk or the cereal in the bowl first, Master Javen?
Cereal in the bowl first.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Now, listen, you've passed our human verification. I believe you are a human being. And with that being said, let's get into some conversation. Master Javen, before we get into the Love is Blind stuff, you know, we can get into that, you know, but I need to understand where you're coming from, you know? We have to make sure our black king with the good hair, you know what I mean? The good skin, you know what I'm saying? To the good strong beard. We have to make sure we know who you are a little bit. So I'm going to ask you a question. Master Javen, who is Javen and what is your story?
That's a good question. Yeah, so obviously my name's Javen. Obviously, I'm from London. I grew up in South London, Lewisham to be precise. I consider myself at this stage of my life. I consider myself someone who is still figuring things out, still searching for answers. Just in the way that I see life, not just on a personal level, but just kind of understanding life. And then if you want to go of like what people would consider me, you know, I was an athlete. I played football for a very, very long time. I'm the meme. I'm the meme of I would have made it if I didn't get injured because I genuinely had 2 knee surgeries. I played for Crystal Palace for 10 years. When I was 16 and I finished school, done my GCSEs, I went full time for 2 years and then I didn't get an extension on my contract and then had knee surgery that summer. Went to America. I lived in America for 4.5 years. And I played football out there. Lived in Atlanta, got my degree. Then I had surgery again, and then came back to the UK in 2019, right before the pandemic. And when I came back, to London, obviously I'd been out of the country for nearly 5 years. Like obviously I didn't have no money. I had to move back in with my mom. I was broke, and then COVID hit at the same time. But in an odd way, COVID was like a blessing in disguise. It was a good moment for me because it gave me time to like, let me reset, let me build myself back up. All my friends, obviously here, they built lives, they're working, they're doing whatever they're doing. I've just come back, so I had to like rebuild myself, and then that took some time. That took longer than I thought. I thought I'd come back to England and just, I don't know, just be living life. But yeah, it took longer than I thought. And then like I would say even from like a dating perspective, actually, when I came back, I kind of removed myself. I didn't feel like it would be responsible of me to even date. I don't think I was in that space in my life as a man. So I took probably like 18 months, 2 years to kind of feel like, all right, cool. I'm here now. I'm back. I'm settled. I'm working. I'm doing what I need to do, starting my own business, and then I would say from 2022 to 2024, when the show was actually shot, in that 2-year period is where I was like, okay, I'm a bit more open to dating, I'm a bit more active, so yeah, the show kind of came around at a good time for me on a personal level, actually. So yeah,
I appreciate that snapshot. It's actually quite intriguing because it's got me thinking as Mandem, you know what I'm saying to you, from London and that, you get me, I'm Southwest Battersea, so shout out to Lewisham.
okay.
I'm always there when I'm in London. You partly lived our dream, bro, right? Because if we're honest, all of us Mandem thought we could play ball, blood. We all thought we were gonna make it, fam. And the teacher told us all, get your grades, bro, because you might not be the one. So the fact that you actually made it, even as far as to get into Crystal Palace, even if I was getting a contract, is crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying to you? I want to know a bit more about that, because for us as men, you know, you said the meme that we all talk about, yes, I would have made it for my knee, but that the real thing is that she actually would have made it. So what was it like for you living that dream at the time, being so young? What was that like for you?
I think that that's a good question. You know, I think when you're in football, yeah, when you're in a full-time football environment, at the time, in my second year, Palace just got promoted. In my second year as a full-time scholar, Palace just got promoted. So like at the time, I don't think you appreciate it. Like there's times where I'll go up and train with the first team. I'm training with Wilfred Zaha, Yannick Bolasie, blah blah blah. You know, I'm name dropping, like, but I don't think you appreciate it at the moment. You're just thinking, I need my turn. When am I going to get in the Prem team? When am I going to get in the first team? You're just looking at it like that hunger can actually turn you a bit angry. I don't know. I felt sometimes like I was really angry, like, and the club was going for a lot of transition from being a championship to a Premier League club, and I was just at the youth team at the time, which is weird because Palace was always known for bringing through youth talent. At that time, they didn't bring through nobody because they put all the investment in the first team, and getting promoted, all that Premier League money, it was new for them because they hadn't been promoted for like 10 years, something like that. So we kind of got neglected, and I think that made me bitter. It made me bitter for a long time, because when I didn't get a contract, like, I remember when sometimes I'll be in America and I'm seeing all my age mates playing Prem, people that I played with, trained with. I'm like, and the American guys will be asking me, oh, this guy's really good. Like they might, like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who he was playing for Chelsea at the time. Like he's from Lewisham. Like I know him, and I've trained with him, and I played with him. And they'll be asking me, and I'm just bitter. Like I'm not gonna lie, I held on to it for a long time. I think
I understand,
but I think when you now that I'm 29 now, so a long time ago, I feel like you look at it and you're like, now I appreciate it, but back then I don't think I appreciated it.
And it's understandable. And if you allow me, permit me to like put into context, because obviously I got a lot of American audience, right? The level of what you actually hit, right? Because it's not a small feat, yeah. So those in Britain, we understand it. So like, for you to attain to even train with the first team, Crystal Palace, is like the equivalent is being an NFL team, right? And being part of the first team, almost in a sense, right? Like you are at the pinnacle of sports when it comes to football, right? That's Premier League is a top league where you have reached the mountain peak, bro. So if you get to that level where you're able to even touch first team, even if you can touch it, it's like, bro, there's levels and there's levels. That's the level. You know what I mean? So I want to give you first and foremost plaudits, because fam, I know obviously it got cut short, but the fact that you had the ability and the skill and the tenacity to even get to that level, fam, is a different level of gravy, because we all dreamed that dream and we all wish we could have. Most of us weren't that great. So, you know, you know what I mean? So I have to appreciate the fact that you got to that particular level. What was the mindset that, you know, you said about that anger, and I can understand that, right? That frustration, but I think that's also a powerful thing. Tell us a little bit more about that frustration, maybe that anger that you might have had at that time, that fire in your belly, so good to see, or that passion, someone might say, at the time of you playing football, and you're seeing the likes of Zaha, the likes of Yannick Bolasie, you know, you're seeing these age mates around you, Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well. What was that for you like at that moment, that passion, that fire? I want you to explain that a bit more so people understand where you're coming from.
I think that like the way that it manifests itself in my behavior was I would train a lot, because I just always felt like, all right, even if I'm not the most talented, I'm not going to be outworked, you know? So I was someone that would stay behind. I would do extras, but it was also quite difficult because at the time the football club was a little bit of a toxic environment for the youth team players because they didn't really care about us. They were neglecting us because, and at the end of the day, the people in the offices at the top, they're thinking about staying in the Premier League. They couldn't give a shit about any young. Can I swear?
No, but you can continue.
Okay. They couldn't care less about any young youth team players, right? Their focus is primarily just on making sure the club stays in the Premier League and they do not get relegated. So youth team players are not really a priority when it comes to that. So my mentality was to just work hard. And that's actually how I ended up getting into coaching and mentoring when I got back from the States, because I'd always kept that within me. Like, I'm someone that will stay behind, do an extra hour out on the pitch, or go do an extra hour in the gym, even after the team's done. Like, that's just the mentality that I had. So I kind of just kept that throughout my life.
How do you navigate that sphere? Like, because I did my MCL just only when I was 28. You know what I mean? So like I said, I was never going to make it, but I did an MCL. Grade 1, but it's never recovered, bro. It's never recovered. I can't even play ball no more, blood. You know what I mean? Before I feel a little jerk in the knee. You understand? So what was it like for you? Because obviously, like I said, you touched a dream. You touched a dream, bro. And then knee surgery, first one, right? What was that like for you, you know, in that particular space? What was that like for you navigating that space?
What, getting injured?
How did you navigate that as a mindset? Because that's difficult to go through.
Yeah. So when I turned 18, that was the first year. When I turned 18, that was the first year I was really starting to pick up like loads of little injuries. I was like straining my hamstring. I would be straining my quad, and I'm starting to pick up these little injuries. And I was quite an explosive player. And I was getting worried, but I never had anything serious. Then basically it was weird because basically what had happened is Palace had released me from my contract, but when you get released, you don't have to leave the club. You can stay because you're contracted till July. So I could stay. They released me probably in like February, March, and I was training still with the youth team. And then I was still playing games because they still let you play for the youth team because I'm a youth team player contractually. So I was still playing. Then one day I got in my car one day and my knee was just bothering me, but I was still able to train and play. I had a scan. They were like, "Oh, you torn your meniscus. You need to get surgery." At the time, I was just like, it was my first real serious injury. So I was like, you know what, I'll be all right. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be all right. But then what I realized as well is like, mentally, it actually just made me a bit more ruthless. Probably. So when a lot of people say, why do I describe myself as like callous or cold? But actually, a lot of that I think comes from the environment that you have in football. Like, it's a very cutthroat. It's a cutthroat industry, bro. Like 0.01% of kids even get to touch the Premier League, and even less and less than 1% of kids even make it to a professional football level. That's League One, League Two, or Championship, let alone the Premier League. So it's a very, very ruthless world. And I think that just put things into perspective for me. Is like, okay, like I've injured now. They don't really care about me. They're helping me, but they don't care about me. And I remember like, okay, I spent that summer training, trying to get my knee right. I was looking for clubs, couldn't find clubs. And I remember like, I'm not someone, I don't like labeling myself, right? I'm not someone, I don't label myself as anxious or depressed or da-da-da-da-da. But that summer, I remember, this is like crystal clear. I'm at my mum's house today, I'm not at my house, right? And I was sitting outside the front of my yard and I'm laying there. And I spent all summer training. I couldn't find a club. And I remember I just broke down in tears. And my mum, I don't know, maybe it's just by God's intervention, she just saw me looking. She's looking from the bathroom downstairs, and she just saw me, and she's come down and she's hugging me. And that was when I was like, I was holding it in for so long about the pain of not making it. Like, and I was just like, right, like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, how did I spent all my life trying to do this, you know? Like, I was very good at school. Me, I'm excellent at school. Like, I was never struggled in school, did really well. But I was so confident about this. Like, that was the first time I had like a real breakdown. But I needed that moment. I needed to let that go because I had been holding it in, and I'm just training every day on my own. I'm gonna find a club. I'm gonna find a club. By God's will, I'm gonna find a club. And I couldn't find a club. So that breakdown moment was just like, bro, okay, like this is it. This is real life. This is I'm 18 now, and I feel like I'm gonna have to grow up real quick because I haven't had to grow up. I've just been chasing this dream, and then that's when I kind of had the opportunity to go to America, went on my own. So yeah, man.
Oh man, it's crazy. What was, you spoke about mum obviously seeing you in that moment, and it's so funny. And I wrote a letter somewhere, wrote a letter the other day, and nowhere near your thing. I can't even lie to you. Mine was kind of sad. I was like 11 years old. I got rejected from a school. I cried into my mum's arm, blood. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, it was sad. So nowhere near your level. But what was mum's role for you in that time? Not even just being injured, but in terms of you even going for your footballing career. What was mum's role in your life at that point in time?
Yeah, so my mum has always been like very supportive in it. Like she's not someone that is at every football game or she's not taking me to every game, but she would make sure, like, let's say I've got a teammate whose dad would drive, she would make sure that she dropped me off at the teammate's house to then take me to the game, stuff like that. So, and I think that whatever I did, my mum would support me, obviously within reason, obviously if I'm not doing madness, but like within reason, my mum would always support me. So sometimes I think it's difficult for mums in football though, because if they don't understand football, it's hard for them to kind of really understand how you feel, because they don't understand football, as in they don't understand the industry of football. And that's where, for me, I reckon I would have benefited from having a figure in my life who was in football. And that's not to say that I didn't have my dad. Like my dad was around. I was born in separation, but I saw my dad every week. Like my dad's around, so it's not like he wasn't around. But I think if I had like someone older in my life that was in football, I would have benefited greatly.
You said obviously that you're separated with your dad as well. So I guess obviously, what was the relationship like for you then? Because that's like, you know, that's like, I guess I feel like that would be every dad's dream. You know, we joke about it now, the Mbappe project. You know what I'm saying? The Messi project. Yeah, you get me? So you know what I mean? The Javen project now. You get me? So man's living the project, fam. Like so, like I'm assuming that whether it's separate or not, I'd have thought that dad would be like happy, would be like excited because his son is potentially is about to become burst on the scene, as Michael Richards will say. You know what I'm saying to you? So like, what was it like for you with your dad in that space, going into football, in your dad's relationship? What was that like for you that time?
Yeah, so my dad was supportive as well, but I think that he's probably a bit more pessimistic than like everyone else in my family. And obviously I didn't live with him. Like I was born in separation. That's how I describe it. Like my mum and dad were getting a divorce while she was pregnant with me. So I never grew up with my dad in the house. I grew up with him, but not in the house. But I didn't know any other way. Obviously, my sisters and brothers have a different experience because they saw my parents married. I never saw them married, so I never knew what that was like. I just saw them separated, but they were friendly. I never saw them argue, or they argued a little bit, but like it was never toxic, is how I describe it. Yeah. So me and my dad we had a good relationship, but we weren't particularly close. I couldn't say I feel like we was like really close friends, and I feel like I was chasing that dream. He was supportive, but not to the level that I probably would have needed. Not how I saw other dads, you know what I mean? Like other dads are there every game, screaming, barking. Like there's sometimes I'm going home with my teammate and his dad's just grilling him in the car, like you should have done this better. Sometimes that's harsh, but you know,
it's good to hear.
I think you need that. Like Thierry Henry, I read his book, right? I read his book maybe like 8 years ago, and he spoke about that. Like his dad was his worst critic, but he said if it wasn't for his dad, he would have never got to the level that he got to. And I think sometimes you need that man's touch. I'm not saying women can't provide that touch, but I think sometimes that man's touch that voice can just pierce in your head and be like, all right, cool, I got to step up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I really resonate with that, bro, because I think, you know, that's again, man, never reach your levels, not even close. Man's a Sunday league player, you get me? But obviously, even that, you know what I mean? Dad never came to watch any of my games, and I actually, it always made me sad. You know what I mean? That even just maybe even come and watch a game, just see if I'm. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he had a little bit of advice here and there. He always said, "Listen, if you're gonna play for a team, they should be paying you." Great advice, but it would be nice to have your presence. You know what I'm saying to you? Like just to be able to, you score so many goals and then you get to turn around on the field and you see other people's dads or their mums there and they're able to like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yours ain't there.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
What was that like for you then? I mean, did you have dad's physical support and presence maybe at games or anything like that for you?
So he never really came to games. It was more my older brother because there's a 12-year gap
Mhm.
between me and my brother. So in some
Okay.
ways, he became the older.
The
He
father.
was parentified from a young age, I would say, because he was the
I
oldest.
get it.
And I think that he kind of had to take that role. So he was at a lot of my games, but also, you know, when I'm 13, 14, he's 26, 27, he wants to live his life as well. So he can't be at
Absolutely.
every game. He can't be, you know, he's living his life. He's going out, he's drinking, he's partying, and he's taking time for himself. So, you know, obviously I'm his brother, but he's got to live his life as well. But he was my biggest supporter. And my brother's he's my biggest supporter to this day. He's the reason I'm confident. Like I always tell him, like, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be the confident person that I am, because he's someone that will just, he knows how to gas you up.
That's a firstborn situation. You get me? I'm a firstborn, so I hate you because you know what I mean. Okay, so I mean, for you then, obviously you played football. That was a dream. You even went to America, went to Atlanta. Shout out to Atlanta. You know what I mean? Because you know it's Chocolate City right there. What was that experience like in being in Atlanta? Because you're coming from UK, going to America. You actually stayed for 2 years. I had a boy who was there for basketball, so I understand. What was that like? What was the experience like? What were the differences that you kind of encountered being over there? You know what I'm saying?
America's it's different, man. It's different,
isn't it? Say less.
I think, you know, culturally, although we speak the language, we don't speak the same language, you know, like over there, things are just, it's very extreme. And I think I really appreciate how boisterous Americans can be. And also over there, I think they're not fearful of just being themselves. Whereas over here, sometimes British people are just like polite. We've got that British politeness where, oh, I don't want to say this. Oh, I don't want to act this way. Over there, you can be ambitious and people don't judge you for being ambitious. Obviously, they have their cons as well, just like we have our cons over here. But I think just from a mindset standpoint, Americans are very different to British people. And I had to adapt to that as well. But that helped me. I think that helped me because that kind of suited my personality anyway. And then culturally, there was a lot of things, you know, like the sororities and what do they call sororities and all that stuff, and even seeing that and seeing them pledging and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, right, this is mad. Like when I'm seeing it and all the stuff you see on like the TVs and that, it's real. And I'm like, this is real. I didn't even think this actually happens. I'm seeing man shave their head, and I'm like, just to be a part of this thing, it's really it's real. And I think when I kind of got into it and I had friends that were doing it, and it was like, okay, I'm starting to embrace this culture. But what I would say is, even though I was there for nearly 5 years, I never fell in love with the culture, and that's why I didn't stay. I never fell in love with it. I just didn't love it.
No, it's kind of, because obviously when I visited, I went to Atlanta, DC, New York. I love being there, but like I said, I love coming back. I don't know, something about Britain I keep coming back to, but it's definitely different kettle of fish, bro. From the man them to the ladies, it's a very different energy that you get over there. And like you, I find that UK, the pool just feels like a very sharkish pool in UK. It's a very small pool in UK. That's the problem. So it's like we're in close quarters.
That's the problem,
you So it's like Mandem can't really be happy for Mandem. Not saying that anyone directly says that to you, but you can almost feel the sharks are circling. You understand? So you don't get
100%.
you don't get that back in. You know what I mean? Like the way that somebody will be like, bro, you can make it. You don't really get that. The same way when I have a 90% American audience, it's because of that. It's because my energy doesn't really resonate with the UK people as such.
Right.
Doesn't always, you know what I mean? So I definitely hear you about the different pool, how that can affect different people in different ways. In that space. Someone asked, so what school did you go to Atlanta?
So I went to Georgia State. So I played D1 soccer in Georgia State. So yeah.
What was the football like in there then, from that perspective then?
So it wasn't very tactical or technical, but it was very physical. Like the Americans are just athletes, bro. That's how I describe it. They're just athletically gifted. They weren't very technical, but football's not their sport, innit? Like, so it's kind of like they can almost make it up for just being like the fittest human beings in the world because they're just so fit. So and I think that also comes from them playing so many sports. Like I had teammates that played baseball, then they played American football, then they played basketball from a young age. Whereas in the UK, if you're a footballer,
stick to one.
usually you just play football. Yeah, you just don't play anything else. Like I never played anything else. Like, yeah, and that's why I started fighting now, because that's my chance to play another sport. That's why I fight now, because it's like I never got. Always wanted to fight when I was younger, but I couldn't. I couldn't go boxing. I couldn't go kickboxing. I couldn't go Muay Thai. And then once football was done for me, I was like, bro, I want to learn to fight now. So let me start fighting. So
I rate that. So obviously you come back to UK, you're gonna have to reinvent yourself. Like you said, COVID happens. It's funny because COVID is now like that key word now that everyone has about the reset. You know what I mean? The great reset.
Yeah. The great reset.
You obviously reset is the great reset. So you obviously come back, football, you kind of parking it on the bench a little bit. You got to rediscover yourself as well. What did you discover about yourself then, and where did you end up? Because obviously football is now parked us out a little bit.
Yeah.
Where do we go to next?
Honestly, when I came back here, it was hard, bro. It was hard. I came back in 2019, got my degree, and I just thought, right, I'm gonna just slide back into life in London. I'm gonna start making money, and everything's gonna be sweet. Boy, I came back, moved back in with my mum. I wasn't even in this room at the time when I moved back. My sister was in this room, and she just had a baby, and luckily I had a spare room there, and I was just trying to get back on my feet, boy, like just trying to make it work, like just trying to get it cracking. And then I'd always been someone that worked hard. Like I loved to train. Like even if I weren't playing, I just loved training. So I just fell into like coaching, like fitness, and then from there then COVID happened. So I started working in some gyms, and then COVID happened. Then I just started building more of an online presence. I started doing an online coaching program. And then I just built that up. So I just took a bet on myself, because I remember at the time COVID happened, I was getting paid a certain amount to teach classes in London, in Liverpool Street. And then they were like, look, you can do these Zoom classes, yeah, but it's only going to be 2 a week. I went from teaching 14 classes to 2. So that's more than 60% of my income just done out the window. So then I'm like, you know what? I did one of these courses, yeah. You know, you all see all these ads and stuff. I did one of these courses.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what? If it's a scam, it's a scam. But right now I ain't making no money, so let me do it. So I did it. It wasn't a scam. It was legit. Like he taught me how to run paid marketing. He told me how to do everything. Like, and then I was like, wow, this is real. Like you can do this. So then I just went all in. And then I kind of just went from there, went from strength to strength. And then after that, I built it up to the point where, you know, I had enough money to buy my own house. I bought my own house, moved out of here. Obviously, I'm back here today because I had to come to London. So I bought my own house, moved out there, and then actually when I got there, yeah, and this is kind of related to the show a little bit. Is like from that period of 2022 to 2024, I moved out of this house in 2023 or early 2024, and I got in the house. Yeah, I got 2-bedroom house, got office in my garden, big garden, front garden, back garden, and I'm like, bro, I'm here all alone.
No girl for me,
bro. I'm there all alone. I'm like, bro, I got this yard. I got 2 beds in the yard. I ain't even got a lodger, bro. Like, I ain't even got someone. I'm just like, bro,
nobody in here.
Don't feel like, yeah. So when the show came around, actually, it was just like good timing for me, because I had some serious situations with women, but there was one scenario with a lady that I'd known from young, from I was 14, 15. Yeah. I'd known her from a child, and it didn't work out. And that definitely knocked me back at the time. That was 2023 or 2022, and that knocks me back. But I think that what it did do is it stripped away my naivety, because I think that sometimes a lot of men, we think that women are like sugar and spice and everything nice. Sometimes we forget that they're human too. And I'm not saying that it sent me the other way a bit too much. Then I had to like,
oh no,
I was trying to say. And then I had to recalibrate. Like, no. Okay, some women are bad. Some people are good. Some men are bad. Some men are good. And so man.
No, listen, I definitely hear you. I think I told my audience already know. I told them about, you know, that the first heartbreak, not even a heartbreak, but like the first devastating heartbreak in terms of like where someone does you a little bit dirty.
It's the moment.
That's where you start asking, you start recognizing, say, wait, hold on a minute, rah, man's been because you don't realize you're being nice, not kind. You know what I'm saying to you? It's a difference, isn't it? So when you're being nice and not kind, you think to yourself that your nicety should deserve a level of response that will be, you know, kind. But what you're getting back is a girl taking you for an idiot. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. Exactly. And then you're asking questions, why am I being taken for idiot? And then you, especially if you had someone who's dated bad guys before and then now they want to date you, they're like, then you ask me like, wait, hold on a minute, why are you? This girls are complaining about good guys, and I understand. When you're young, you go for that phase. You know what I'm saying to you, that frustration where you're like, Charlie Chaplin over there is treating girls like mad. He's doing things like mad. But me, I'm the one treating you correctly. You're doing me dirty. Yeah, it's mad.
Right. Like, and you know, you have the moments, even as a teenager, you have the moments because you're from South London, bro. You know, sometimes there's a girl, she might be in your year at school, but she's dating the 18-year. You're 14. She's dating the 18-year-old bad boy. But I'm the one. But this guy, he sells drugs and he's getting in beef all the time. To me, like what? Like you have the moments, but I think when you're young, you don't even realize. You feel it more when you get older. And I always say to my nephew, my nephew's 18 and it's his birthday, and I'm like, you know what? One thing I'm gonna give him, I'm gonna get him a book, and I got him a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy by the author's name is Dr. Donald Glover or Robert Glover, something like that. And it just kind of explains that, like, understanding what that means as like, you know, it's nothing wrong to be nice. It's just you need to do it from the right place, you know.
And bro, listen, obviously, like I said to you, like when I grew up in London, you know, I was a fat kid, you know what I'm saying to you. So I was a fat, kinda, I wouldn't say nerdy, but kind of close to that, you know what I'm saying to you. So when I say, when people are saying their experiences, I think women, when they think about experience, they think about certain women. I'm not saying all, certain women think about the experiences of the guy that's getting the girls, brother. Some of us that was not as easy as that situation. Some of us are watching other man them come to you joking about how they don't even like that girl. And you like her, but he's like, I don't care about her, bro. You know what I'm saying to you? And you will see it over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying to you? So when we're saying our experiences, I really mean it. Some of us have actually suffered. Like, we've seen girl take man for idiot. You know what I'm saying to you? So you have a different experience. And like you said, you can sometimes then go to the other side where you then become the bad boy trying to become that guy. And then I realized that I did it for a little while, but I was like, it don't really work for me because it's not me.
It's not genuine, what I mean?
And it's not genuine. Yeah, that man really bad. So they really are what they're saying. So I'm not that guy. I gotta go back to mom. My mom's gonna be like, that's not it. So it's a different experience as well. So okay, so one word to describe dating for you then. Before Love Is Blind, one word to describe dating.
Unfulfilling.
Unfulfilling. It's a word. Take us down that journey. When you say unfulfilling, what does that even mean, sir? I know the English, but I don't know the journey.
I would say that, like, I would get in these scenarios and situations with women and, you know, have a good time, enjoy their presence. And sometimes I would think, why am I not connecting with them on a deeper level? And not every woman, but some of them, I'm like, you're nice and yeah, you're cool, but something's missing. And sometimes it would be just based on like intellect, like I just feel like you're not smart. Like I can have like sometimes I'm not judging them, but I look at how they analyze things and I'm like, yeah, you're not smart. Like you didn't think about that. And that just, I'm like, that puts me off. Or it's not even like, some people might say, oh, you know, an emotional connection. I wouldn't even say that because before that, I'm looking at how they behave, how they treat people around them. And I think I wasn't seeing a lot of that. And the situations that I was in where I found someone that I connected with, even on the intellectual level, yeah, those situations just didn't work out. Like the example I said with the lady that I knew from my childhood. There was different scenarios. So yeah, it was unfulfilling, man. I think that I kind of got to a point where I didn't even really want to try anymore. I just felt like, oh, you know, let me take some time out and just look after myself and make sure I'm in the right space to give my all to somebody when the time's right.
It's interesting because I see some people commenting saying, "Oh, he's saying they're not smart," but it's funny. I have the same experience. I had the same experience, and I think a lot of times, and again, this is where it becomes difficult. I think for men and women, when men say certain stuff, it gets looked at in a particular way. Truth of the matter is, I'm an intellectual. So when you said cerebral, I understood exactly what you meant, right? So when I've dated people in the past, and I've noticed that, it's not about university. You just don't perceive, and it's the way you're perceiving information, we're not the same level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not to put them down, but because like you said, it's not about university or what accolades you got. That's not what makes you smart, in my opinion. Sometimes it's just how you break down a scenario, the angles that you come at topics. And obviously, I've met plenty of women where they were really smarter than me. But for one reason or another, it didn't work. So it was unfulfilling. I would say is for how, if you give me one word to describe my experience.
So before obviously getting onto Love Is Blind, what was the most impactful relationship and why? That why the tone was like as if I had another question. I don't. What was your most impactful relationship and why?
I would say it was the relationship that I kind of spoke about earlier, because I think it's just more about what it showed me. Because a lot of people will see in the show, right? They'll say, I'm not very expressive, or I'm not very emotional, or whatever, right? That's what they'll say when they see the show. And to some degree, that's accurate. And with this person, I was probably that same way. And then we got through a barrier, and then like I probably went not too emotional, but I was like really. Remember I said the other day to you the one that got taken down, I said like I'm not forthcoming, but I'm very open. With this girl, I would say I became forthcoming. I was going above and beyond. I was giving gifts. I was doing all of that stuff, and I was like, oh, you know what? Like I'm 100% here. Like this is how it's supposed to be done. And then I think the scenario was this. Basically, we had been together for quite a while. There was a lot of familiarity because we've known each other since we was like 14. And I remember I went on holiday. I went to Thailand for like 10 days. And then I remember like on the phone to her, I was at like a beach party in Thailand, and she called me, and I left the beach party just to talk to her. That's when I knew this. I'm in this, because me, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. So I'm like, I'm in this. So she's FaceTiming me. We're chit-chatting like, bro, I'm outside the beach party for like an hour. I got the man them calling me like, yo, Jav, you're not coming back? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'll come back in a bit. Like, we're chatting. But basically, at this stage, and I felt like something was wrong, because there was a lot of times where like she had met my family, but she wouldn't bring me to meet her family. She'd stay with me, but she would never say, oh, come stay with me. Like, she'd never say that. And was FaceTiming, and I don't know, something inside of me was just like, yo, like what I just said, like, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing here? Because we've known each other for nearly 15, 16 years. Like, what's really going on here? And then she's just like, oh, I don't know. Like, I just don't know where we are. Boom, boom, boom. And I don't know why, but that moment when I can't remember her exact words, but the way she described it to me, it was like, raw. So I thought it was one way, but you're telling me now it's this way, and you never said it was this way. So something's going on here. And it just set me off. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, we'll handle this when I get back. And then I think my persistence was my downfall, because I got back to London. We met up. She's all crying, and she's like, oh, I don't want you to end it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like so determined to try and make it work. And this is that hard worker in me. I'm like, oh, no, don't worry. We're going to make it work. But really, I should have just been like, you know what? If you don't think we're going to get to that level, let's just leave it here. That's what I should have done. That's what I feel like I should have done. And then we tried, but I feel like we're just elongating the pain. That's why when I see Cal and that, and they're getting a lot of stick for what they did, sometimes I can sympathize with them, because I'm like, bro, it's better that you end it now rather than elongate the pain for her, for Sarova and for Ashley. I get it looks bad and the way they did it is cold, but yeah. So that's the most impactful, because just because of how it made me feel after, and all the lessons I took from that, you know, good and bad.
Okay, definitely hear that. Okay. So then Love is Blind comes calling, right? Love is Blind comes calling. Seems like the right time, the right season for you. Seems like, you know what, this is going to be it. You know what I mean? What's your thought process going into this? Are we thinking, in all honesty, are we thinking, my wife's on here, bruv? You know what I mean? Or are we thinking, you know what, there's a chance I could meet someone who I could start developing that great connection with? You know, what's our thought process here? You know what I mean?
I think that as I was going through the casting process, to be honest, I never thought I would even get into the show. So at first I was like, they reached out to me. I was like, whatever. And then I was just slowly getting into it a bit more. And then there was the one last stage where they invite you into the office in London. You do the casting and you're like, okay, cool. From here, I just thought, yeah, millions of people are doing this. I'm not going to get it. Well, it wasn't really millions at that time because it had only just come out in the UK. It wasn't even out yet, actually. The season 1 wasn't even out yet. But then I get the email saying, "Oh, you're in." So I call my boy. He's like, "No, do it, man. You ain't got nothing to lose." I call my sister, one of my sisters. She's like, "Yeah, do it." So I'm like, you know what? Like, I've tried the traditional route, I guess, the typical route. You know, go out, dating apps, blah blah blah. So I'm like, yeah, I ain't got nothing to lose, and I have the capacity to have someone in my life in that way. So I was like, you know what? Let me do it because I personally don't feel like I have anything to lose. So yeah, so I went, man. I went for it. Did I think I was going to get married? That was your original question, though. I think when I got there, obviously, when you meet all the boys, you meet up in the hotel in London in the first night, and you meet all the guys. I don't think you know yet. I think you're going in there with the right intentions. I think everyone went in there with the right intentions. The way that I described it, I just said to myself, I'm gonna keep my heart open for and hope that I find the right person. That's kind of how I would say I felt and how I took it.
So being on that show, then obviously you get to date several people. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to know, who were your connections in that place? I know that the first round you got to talk to me for 8 minutes. So let's talk that first round, 8 minutes talking. Who was the top of your list at that point?
Oh. In that first day. I want to say, I think it was Sarova, you know. Sarova and Megan, and then a girl named Lo. You guys don't really see much of
Laurie.
Not Laurie.
Another girl.
Laurie was I think Laurie was my first date though, but not Laurie. It was Lo. But Laurie was great as well. Wow. Honestly, me and Laurie, I really enjoyed my date. I had 2 dates with her. It was just the age difference. That was the only reason I didn't pursue that. So yeah, on day 1, I think it was Sarova, you know. And then it was like Katisha just slowly started rising, and then it was Katisha, Megan, and a girl named Holly, which you guys never really got to see, and then Sophie. So those are my top 4 by the time we got closer to the end.
Okay, cool. So Lo, Katisha, who the other ones again? Holly? At
the start or at the end?
I just at the start. So I'm going to give it Sarova and then Holly. That's 4 of them.
At the start, at the very start, it was Sarova, Lo, Megan.
Okay, cool. Okay, fair enough. All right, good. So as a journey then progresses on, okay, all right, we know that obviously they edit how they edit, so we know that the Katisha thing was, you know what I'm saying to you, right? But did you have any other stronger connection that as the time developed onwards that you're looking at, you was like, actually this could have been something, you know what I mean? As you went through the process.
Probably Holly. I think Holly on the last couple of days, for some reason, well, I didn't get to see her, and the way that the dating process works, without spoiling the show, like it's kind of just based on like if you like someone and they like you, the chances are you're going to see them. Yeah. And then for some reason, there was a day where I didn't see her and I got Sophie instead. And then apparently she had sent a message through Jed to try and give to me, but Jed didn't do it. He told me this when he was in Manchester after. He was like, yeah, she tried to send you a message, but I didn't do it. I was like, Jed, bro, you're supposed to do that for me, bro. Yeah, like, so he was like, yeah, she had a message to send you, but I didn't want to do it. I'm like, right, you trying to set me up or something, bro. But yeah, so obviously, but you guys wouldn't have seen Holly. Like, no one would have seen her because they didn't show her in the show. So she was the only other one, really. Obviously, Megan, but with Megan, it basically got to a point where I think probably by the last 3 days or so, it was kind of clear that I was edging more towards Katisha and she was edging more towards Kieran. And we had a date. We had a really nice date, and it was just like, oh, like, look, I know you're going this way. I'm going this way. We're friendly, you know, we've enjoyed the dates in here, but you know, I think this is going to work better for you anyway. It was respectful, like it was all good. So there was kind of nothing there. So by the last 2 days, it was pretty clear in my eyes that Katisha was the one I was going to go for, and the one that I felt most connected with. So yeah.
Tell us more about this Megan connection, because that became your arch nemesis. So we need to understand how you went from lovers to jokes. But what happened between? So tell us a little bit more about this connection with Megan. You know what I'm saying? How did it even develop? Because
Megan was the man them's favorite, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everyone,
I can tell she's glucose. I can't lie, she's glucose.
Everyone in the lounge wanted to date Megan. Like everyone in the lounge loved Megan. Like
she's a vibe.
Her and Laurie. A lot of people wanted to date Laurie too, but I think a lot of people struggled with just. She was the oldest woman.
Okay.
She was the best looking one too, though. But
look, you having a reminiscent moment. That's not damn. That's it.
Yeah, what was I saying? So Megan, so Megan, she was really good energy, you know. I think one of the things I would say about dating and not seeing somebody is, for a woman especially, you can't lead with your looks anymore, right?
Yeah.
So for a woman, you've got to be a bit strategic in how you display yourself. That's why, like, a lot of people ask, why didn't me and Anu date more? I said it to her today, actually. I was like, I don't think you was able to display your personality through a wall in a way that could be well received by men. Because that what it did expose to me is a lot of women don't know how to conversate with men. They don't view us in a way that is we're worth conversating with. It's just, we got to chase you and hope that it works. Whereas in the through the wall, it's not like that, because at the end of the day, we're the ones who propose. So you kind of have to do a little bit of, you know, and she was good at that. She knows how to conversate. She knows how to like make a conversation just flow. And I think that's why a lot of people like talking to her. And then me and her just got on very well, both bubbly personalities. So yeah, we had it. I don't know. The one thing that I would say that we was missing is just it never really got very deep. Like we never got beyond that surface level. So I think that's another reason probably why I never pushed for it, and she probably didn't push for it either.
Okay.
And another thing is, every date you're comparing all your dates as well. So I'm comparing how I'm feeling in the pods with her versus Katisha versus Holly versus Anu or Yolanda or whatever. So when it was getting down to crunch time and I'm comparing the two, in my heart I was like, no, Katisha's more of what I feel like I need in my life.
Okay. No, I definitely understand that, and I get it. Like it is difficult, and it's interesting because like dating, when you get older, dating changes, right? And I think it's Love Is Blind kind of captures what actually happens for a lot of people, which is when you're in school, the pretty girl always win. You know what I'm saying to you? The prettiest girls always win.
Yeah.
Man, them chase her. Do you know what I mean? The bad boy wins. When you get older, the world changes, and what specifications people are looking for changes as well with it. So, like you were saying, obviously, like if you've got a wall between people, there's a lot of people that are going to be beautiful people, but because they aren't able to translate maybe personality, because again, a lot of the personality is taken away by the fact that their beauty is what attracts people. You know what I mean? That does all the hard work. Now, having a bit of chat, it's not always easy. You know what I'm saying to you? Knowing the depth of you and bringing that out to be displayed, that ain't always easy. That's why sometimes it's easy to be ugly duckling when you first start, because you have to develop that personality quick. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
How did you find it? Obviously, like having to showcase your personality through the wall, because obviously that's, you know what I mean? You can't use also your good smile. You know what I'm saying to you? You can't use that lovely hair you got on your head. So how did you purport yourself and bring about your personality?
I love dating in the pods. I can't even lie, bro. I was having a great time. Like in those pods, I just go in there. I don't know, bro. Like when I'm in there, I can talk to anyone, you know, like I can make someone's grandmother smile and laugh with me. You know what I mean? Like I go in there, I can just make the room, I can make it work, especially in a one-on-one conversation. I like that intimate kind of one-on-one setting and scenario. So, you know, a lot of people, like the producers, would be like, wow, Jav, in the pods, you're so different versus when you're in the lounge. Because in the lounge, I'm quiet. Like I'll chat to Jed or Demola, but I'm quiet. I'm not really saying too much. I'm just sitting there. I walk in the room, I'm smiling. If they had lounge footage, I'll just be eating sweets. Me, I'm sitting there eating sweets and playing pool. When I'm in the lounge, when I'm in the pause one-to-one, I bring the personality to the table. So I've never struggled with like conversating or talking to people. That's just, and I think that also comes from like sports and being in that kind of environment where, you know, you kind of have that personality. You know, we go out together, we eat together, we travel together. You just pick that up, and it's just something that becomes a part of you. So dating was really good. I think the actual process of the way that the show is done, like it's very long days of filming though. Like it's draining. Very, very long days of filming. You got to get out really early, especially if you want to go gym before. So like me, Kyle and Billy are in the gym every day. Then we're going there and we're filming all day. We're not getting back till late. It was the same routine over and over again. But it's only 11 days. But it's still, it felt like 11 days is like dog years in there, or dog days in there, whatever it is, however you describe it. And it's just long. It is long. Like it is very long. It's more mentally taxing than anything.
I can imagine that. Being in that space, I was like I said, mentally taxing. You know, you obviously did develop your connections. Obviously, one of them was we didn't mention her name, so I'm surprised. Yeah, of course, obviously you didn't get to date in the pods. Why didn't you get to date Sophie more in the pods? What happened?
Oh, I did date her in the pods. I did. But I was never her top option, and she was never I was never her top option, and she was never my top option. Like I knew who her top options were. So
fair enough.
Because of that, I'm going on dates with her knowing that she don't rate me, so I'm not going to give her much either.
Shouldn't rate my team.
It don't really make sense. Like we had good dates, but it was just like, I know she likes Kieran and another guy named Ross M, who's from Manchester. I know those were her top two connections. So I'm just there. After a while, you're just there vibing because it's like, well, you don't rate me anyway, so it don't really matter.
I hear that. Okay. So then moving it forward, I want to ask a question for the Mandem in your space, in the Mandem's lounge and that, yeah. What was your tactics and what did you observe about the Mandem? Because I know you're an observer person. So your tactic, what was your tactic and what were you observing about the Mandem and how they were dealing with, you know, all the dating that they're going on with the girls and that?
There's two different type of guys in the lounge, bro. You got one type of man who goes in there and says everything about his date with so-and-so, you know? Like, there's a man there, I won't say his name. He weren't in the main cast, so you might not even know him, but there was one day, he came in with his notebook, It's my wallet, but imagine it was his notebook. He slammed the notebook down and was like, I've got her. She's going to say yes. Little did he know that she already told Cal that them two are going to go together. So, like, you got a man like that, who's just chatty. Everything that happened in the date, we all know about. Then there's other men that come in there and they're just silent. Jed, silent. Jed weren't saying a thing. He weren't saying who his main one was. And I respected that. So I personally was like in the middle. Sometimes if you come to me and ask me, I'll say the name. But I'm not going in there saying, oh, Katisha's this or Megan's this. It's just, if you ask me, I'll say, but I'm not like hiding anything. So like a lot of the times, the way that the show is portrayed to you guys is almost like me and Demola were foes in there. But actually, me and him, basically, we kind of had like a bit of an agreement, not verbally, but it was like a mutual thing.
You can
where,
see each other, like, you know, we know each other.
yeah, like we're not going to discuss. Like my mindset was, I don't want to put him off of his date, so I never went in his face and said, "Oh, Katisha told me this, and this." I didn't think that was fair, and also I didn't want him to affect my dates, so we never discussed it. We never discussed our dates with Katisha together. We never did that. And I personally think that that was a better way to go about it, because there was another scenario between Tom and Charlie, which they didn't show, but it's probably one of the best storylines. I don't know. I wish they showed it, where them two were going for the same girl, Danielle, right? And like she was saying one thing to one and a different thing to another. I can't remember the details. And one of them got blindsided too. They didn't show it, but it was quite interesting. But them two were discussing things. Like they would come back and they'll be like, "Oh, but she said this to me," and they're trying to work it out together. Whereas me and them did the opposite. We just didn't talk about it. We just like, because we're cool, we're from similar backgrounds. We're just cool. Like we're like, look, if she chooses you, choose you. She chooses me, chooses me. Like, is what it is. So we was very just cool with it. Like nothing really changed. It didn't really, like, there was no animosity at all. So everyone had different strategies, I guess, or tactics.
Okay. So with that being said, with different strategies, different tactics, in that people might ask, obviously, I know you didn't say, I know you guys didn't really talk about to Demola about your dates with Katisha and that. But there was a moment, and you just clarify just real quick for the people then, where I think you're talking to one, I don't know who you're talking to, but you mentioned love bombing.
Tom, I was talking to, no, Jed. He starts laughing when I say it.
Yeah. He mentioned love bombing. People are gonna want to know, why did you mention love bombing? You as bad as the ladies that say these words and don't really know what they're talking about. Why did you mention it? Yeah, they don't come and start laughing now. Come in here.
Everyone loves to get onto me about that one, you know. All right, look. So the way that it's cut, you would think that Dembele standing right there and I'm saying it to Jed right there. Firstly, my memory serves me correct. He was not even in my vicinity when I said it.
I understand.
That's the first thing. The next thing is, if you notice the way they trim the sections together, they say they trim a bit where I say something about Katisha, but they don't have me on camera, and then they turn the camera on and then I say something about Loveman. The reason I even said that, it wasn't just about him, because I didn't know he had sent a gift. I didn't know he done flowers, because I didn't even know you could send gifts, and that was very early in the stage. So I didn't know you could send gifts, firstly, and he wasn't the only one that sent gifts. It was him and Kieran. So I had known that they both sent gifts. So I'm saying to Jed, bro, like, man, them are doing gifts, bro. They're cheating, bro. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know that you could go to the producer and be like, send her a gift. I didn't know that was a thing. And that was early in the process. So I took it as love bombing. I'm not saying that he was love bombing, but at that particular stage, it was quite early. And mind you, I didn't know it was him who had given flowers. I never even knew that until later. So at that particular stage, that's how I said it. And to be honest, I can't remember what she said to me, like word for word, about what she got given and how it went down. Because she never said to me, "Oh, he got me flowers." She had said something about the grand gestures, and then that's just what I said. That's, you know. All right, let me put it this way: if I'm with my guys, yeah, and one guy is moving like he's moving mad, he's trying to do everything fast, yeah.
Quickly, I get you.
One of the men there might call him out and be like, "Bro, you need to chill, bro. You're love bombing." So it was more like that. It wasn't like, "Oh, this guy's a simp. He's love bombing." Like no, it weren't like that. And also, I never did it. I never said it with him like right there trying to diss him, like sneak diss him or nothing like that. And it wasn't just about him, because I didn't know he was sending gifts. So I said it. I stand on it as well. Right? I ain't taking that back. That's my guy though, so it's not like I'm dissing him.
No, I get you. I mean, you said it I get you. When a man are talking, having that conversation, they're saying their piece, like, "Our man's doing a lot." You know what I'm saying to you, right? But the real question is, because you got that impression from someone else, blood. So that's why I get to. It's not just the gifts. It's because when you're explaining it, you're saying that she didn't say the word, but she's inferring that there's a lot of quick Yahoo behavior.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm receiving a lot. Someone's being very forward with me. Yes.
Yeah, just make it clear for us. You might not say the exact words, because you might not remember the exact words. Make it clear so people understand. So are you saying that Katisha is saying that, because me today we're clarifying everything, you know what I mean? We're airing all the dirty laundry. Are we saying that you got the impression, because we're not saying the exact words, but are we saying that the impression that you got was that Katisha was saying he's moving a bit fast? He's coming fast.
I would say so. Yes, I would say so. I would say so.
Okay.
I can't. I don't want to say 100%, but I don't want to sit on the fence. So I want to give you an answer. So I would say so. Yes, just because. Okay, cool. And the reason I say that is just because I can't remember like the details. I remember roughly, and it felt like that. I wouldn't have said that to be malicious, because me and D are cool. So I wouldn't have said it to be malicious to him. Like, I just wouldn't do that. Like.
Okay. Cool. So the moment you hear now that obviously it is Demola who is now sending gifts, you know, are your thoughts now to what happens to your thought process now? Because brother, you know, we come from the same cutthroat world, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. And you're no longer Javen little, you're Javen big. You know what I'm saying to you? So obviously now, are you telling me that when you hear man give a man gift and you're just gonna be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna let it be in it. I ain't gonna what's your next steps? Because man's gonna have to up the game at that point right now. In fact, why didn't you wait before you ask that question? Why didn't you decide like the girls did when they got a gift that it's all over? Why didn't you think it was all over?
That's true. That's just because I think, but it's different though, isn't it? Because the girls have received gifts and they're thinking, oh, that means that like the guy's not going to pursue them anymore, right? Like Anu made not a big deal, but Anu was like, oh, Demola's giving Katisha a gift, which means that he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Whereas in my case, he's the one that gave the gift. He never received the gift. So I didn't think, oh, she's done with me. But I think when I'd known that, like when I'd known that he'd given the gift, it didn't really affect things for me. Because what did in the date, you hear me say it. I say it to her. She's like, oh, he's doing these grand gestures. And I was like, well, you know, that's not me. Like, I don't really do that. That's not how I display my love for somebody. I'm not that kind of person. It is what it is. I gave a very take it or leave it approach. I never pretended to be something I wasn't. I never said I would do this and that. I did say how I display my affection and my love, and I explained to her that I don't see value in that, because I'm not saying what he did isn't valuable, but I don't see the value in that, because there are a lot of men that do this, where they will buy you gifts and they will buy you loads of stuff and they will still treat you like dirt. So I'd rather not do that. My value is in how I'm going to look after you and make your life easier. That's how I personally feel, me as a person. I want a woman to see me and be like, I can rely on this guy. He's going to do things for me if I need him to get it done. And me, I want to do things. I want to take the weight off your back as much as possible. That makes me feel good. That's my servitude, you know? So, and I expressed that to her. Like, that's how but also you guys didn't see that, but that's kind of how I expressed it to her. So I was like, look, like, that's just his way of doing things. I didn't say his name because we never said each other's name, but that's their way of doing things. This is my way, you know? And this might not be the way that you like, and that's fine, but that's what we're here for. We're here to see what we like. So I didn't feel any type of way. I just thought, you know, so, and I see people in the comments saying, like, oh, that's why I got her flowers at the end. I didn't get her flowers. I didn't even pick that. That wasn't me. Like, I didn't.
Who got the flowers?
So every person, when you get close to the end, so I think it's the day before proposals, everyone has a special date. Yeah, you get to pick a special date. My special date was actually to get her Jamaican food, right? Because she's half Jamaican. She lives in Scotland. She's never even had Jamaican food. She's not in touch with that side of her life. So I thought, you know what?
Introducing her.
It'll be a nice cultural touch. Get her finally in touch with that side of things. But obviously, where it's shot, where it's filmed, and the location, there was no Jamaican food. So they called me in after I requested it. They called me in that day, and they're like, "Look, we sent one of the runners very far to try and get you Jamaican food, and trust me, you do not want to give her this food." So I was like, boy, all right. I said, then they were like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Well, it's last minute now. What can I do?" I was like, "You lot just sort it out for me, whatever." Maybe I said, "Get me a rum punch, and do your best." So that was all they could do for me at that time. So I wouldn't have got her flowers anyway. I would have got her some Jamaican food, some rum punch, and we would have had a bit more of a cultural moment. That's what I was trying to create for her. So when I see people making that comment, I'm like, you lot are dumb, bro.
So the flowers were not yours. Okay, so the flowers weren't yours. That means that takes it out that particular space. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so just for those, obviously, we already had this conversation, but just for you other people that who haven't watched the first interview and obviously thingy, what was it that Katisha was doing that drew you to her? Because clearly that's the person that you ended up with. So what was she doing? That made you so drawn to her in that space.
Yeah. So I think with Katisha, the first thing I would say is I viewed her as like she had like a very soft spirit. I would say she was very in contrast to me. I've said it before, but I'd probably describe myself in some scenarios to be like quite callous. I can be quite, if I'm an onion, it takes I got quite a lot of layers to get through, right? But I'm open about that. I didn't hide that. And she was like the opposite, and I just felt like, there can't be two people like me. So her being opposite to me was like quite attractive. And another thing, which I think it feels quite odd to say this, but she has had, I feel like she has been through a lot. I'm not going to get into her personal business, but she's been through a lot. There's a lot in her childhood, 7 siblings, relationship with her parents, moving out very, very young. I can tell she, being the oldest of 7, she had to take a guardian role from a young age. And in some ways, I feel like that may have taken a toll on her. In some ways. And I felt like I had a bit of a savior complex. And I don't know if any man can say they've if anyone watching this has ever felt like that as a man to a woman. But I don't know, I just felt like, I can save you. Like, that might sound mad, but that's how I felt.
No, I get you.
Like, and I think that also drew me to her, as well as other things. Like, she's very family orientated. She was ambitious. She is ambitious. I think at the time she was working on building her own business and stuff like that. And there was a lot of other like normal, like I guess normal things. But yeah, that those type of things drew me to her. And we was also on the same wavelength, in regards to what we wanted to try and do with our lives after the show, stuff like that. So yeah, it was multi-layered, and I've spoken to her many times since the show's been out. And I think, our biggest gripe as one of the couples is like the viewers never really got to see any of those deeper conversations. But it is what it is. There's no point crying about that now.
So you was a Bob the Builder. I said something to Anu. I said Anu is a Bobina the Builder. So you're the Bob the Builder.
Boy, you could say that.
Where's that coming from?
What, that savior complex?
Yeah. Who were you trying to save originally?
That's a good question. Where does that come from? I don't know. I think that in that particular scenario, it just presented itself, and that's just what drew me to her. Like, it was one of the things that drew me to her. Not the only thing, but it's definitely it definitely played a role, because it had to be significant, or else I wouldn't be bringing it up now. So it must have been significant, right? It's sitting in me as a memory, so it's significant. So I don't know. I can't say. I don't think I can give you a good answer on that.
Were any of the other girls, did they elicit that same response of you wanting to save them? The likes of
Lola, I wouldn't say so.
Nah.
Well, I think with Holly, there was elements of like, she was kind of mysterious. I think that there was a lot there. But she said one thing that made me think, whoa. He was in a date, and she said, I just want to tell you something. And I'm like, what? She's like, I just want to let you know that I don't go to the gym. And I was like, what? Like, what does that matter?
I already know.
Yeah. And she was like,
I know what that's sending me.
Yeah, because she was like, well, you've spoken about how you've coached people in the past and you work out, and I'm like, yeah, I hear that, but like, you don't have to go to the gym. I didn't say you have to go to the gym. I don't know that, like, when she said it to me, I was like, okay, what are you trying to say here? Like, I thought you were trying to say something. Little did I know when I saw her, she's tiny. Like, yeah. When I met her, she's tiny, but yeah, I did tell her you shouldn't have said
I'll
that.
start thinking that too. You're gonna tell me. Yeah. I hear you. You might as got to do that. Okay, so tell us, walk us through this. So that the end part between obviously that last date, or so much it seems like, right? Yeah. Between you, Katisha, Demola, you don't obviously know. I'm assuming you don't know. The switch up was crazy. I'm assuming you don't know, right? You don't know what she has said because that's what it looks like on the edit. So you don't know anything that she said to Demola in that scenario.
I'm clueless.
Because Demola, wait. So when you went to your day, had Demola come back in, or was it reverse the roles in terms of how to edit?
So
sometimes
they sometimes they edit things in reverse. Basically, so the second to last day, right? Actually, let me go to the day before second to last day. So the day before she said to them, like, you ain't got nothing to worry about. That day, I knew that we're 2 days away from proposals. So I'm like, at this stage, me and Megan have broken things off. I'm needing to kind of get this clarity. So I actually went in there seeking some reassurance, and I never quite got it. I never quite got, yeah, Jav, you're the one. So I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. I ain't gonna cry about it. So the next day is the special dates day, right? So then that's when I've gone in there. We've had a chit chat, boom, 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 and then obviously she's hit me with I'm gonna go with my other connection, and I'm like, all right, cool. You see how I react in the show. That part was actually genuine. Like, yeah, cool, man. That's the right thing for you. Then you got to do that. Like, there's no big deal. Then obviously I'm like, all right, look, but I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna enjoy my drink and stay. You can leave if you want to. That's what I said to her. I said, you can leave if you want to. And obviously she don't leave. You guys all see it. She doesn't leave, right? So I didn't know. By the time when I'm in that day, I didn't know that she had already told Demola that, you ain't got nothing to worry about, blah blah blah. And obviously he's in the lounge saying, she's my wife. I found my wife. I got my girlfriend, whatever. And she's doing the same thing in the women's lounge too, saying, I got my man. Me, I'm none the wiser. I didn't know anything. I'm thinking, whatever. Obviously, she told me in my date that, yeah, I'm gonna go the other way. So I stay in the pod though. The reason I stayed in the pod was basically at the time, a lot of people were walking out their dates early, and they don't the showrunners, they don't want you to do that. They just want you, if it doesn't work out, still stay, have a chat. So me, I respect the process. If you know anything about me, I'm a team player, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna enjoy my drink. You stay if you want to. She says, all right, I'll enjoy my drink too. I'm thinking, okay, you just told me you're gonna go with Demola, but you're staying. All right, cool. So we're chatting, and then at that point, basically, I'd already kind of checked out because I'm thinking I'm going home. So that's when I start reading the notes, and obviously everyone's making jokes. I only had 2 lines. No, I had pages and pages of notes. And then she actually, it was actually quite a romantic moment because then she gets her notes, she reads them back to me. Obviously, you guys don't see any of that because they did not want to make us look like we liked each other. So she reads her notes to me, and then that date is like an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, so it's a long date. Then we're chatting. Then as I'm about to go, so we're now at the end of the date. She never left the room. Yeah, she says to me, "Oh, I feel disconnected from my decision." And these times they're telling us to leave the room because the date's over. And I turn around. I don't know why I turn around because she can't see me, but I turn around and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, you can't say that now. The date's over.
Wait. Before we continue, wait, I don't want to stop you. I want to stop you. Hold on a minute. So you guys are sitting there. You're sitting there. You stayed extra. Are you guys talking before this point, or she just comes out and just says this?
We're talking, but the date's now over. Because when the date's over, they tell you, guys, you need to leave the pod. So
okay,
we've got to the end. Then she says, "Oh, I feel disconnected from my decision." So then I turn around. I'm by the door. I turn around like, what does that mean? What does that even mean? I was like, you can't say that now. The date's over. You can't say that. She's like, yeah, I just feel like I'm disconnected from my decision. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I said, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. She said, maybe. I was like, yeah, maybe. And I leave. And the reason I said that, because I thought I was going home. So I thought to myself, because what they don't show you is actually a lot of people do leave early because they're like, they ain't got no connections.
Yeah.
It is mentally taxing for some people. So I just thought, you know what? Like, she just told me she's going to go in another direction. I'm going to go home tonight. Let me get them to book me a ticket and go home tonight. But then I said to myself, you know what? I'll say goodbye and I'll give her the grace of at least saying goodbye and wish her well. So that morning, I packed my bags, packed my suitcase, went gym. That's when I made the comment that the only way I'm going to stay is if she proposes to me, blah, blah, blah. I know everyone's getting onto me for that comment. I still stand by it. But the reason I even said that is because basically I'd been rejected. I'm not gonna go back unless you make an extraordinary effort to make me come back. So that was, and it was a bit tongue in cheek. It was tongue in cheek, but I meant it though. I'm not gonna lie, I meant it, but it was tongue in cheek as well. And then so that day, when you're in the lounge, yeah, on that final day, it is like someone's getting sentenced. The way that the room is just, I wish they displayed it on TV. The way that the room is just tense, bro. From day one, the man them are laughing and joking. This is the one day people aren't laughing and joking. Everyone is serious. People look stressed. Me, I'm just there laughing, smiling. I'm like, boy, well, at least you lot don't know what you're doing. At least I know I'm going home. So, and the man them are in there writing paragraphs for their proposals. So when I say, yeah, they are writing pages and pages and pages, yeah, of their proposal and what they're gonna say. Me, I didn't even bring my booklet to the room because I'm like, well, I'm not proposing, so I ain't got nothing to write. Okay. So I go in there. They don't show this, but I go in there, and by this stage, obviously, Demola had already been told no, but I didn't know that because I wasn't there. I didn't see him come back. I didn't know they separate us, so I didn't know that she had said no to him.
Oh, they separate you.
I'm still, yeah. So I'm still thinking that she's
already said yes to him.
Exactly. So I'm walking in there, and I'm basically like 5-10 minutes. I'm just saying my goodbyes, and then she cuts me, and then that's when what you guys see is where she kind of makes a suggestion that, you know, if it means that you'd stay, I would even propose. Then I was like, in my mind, I'm like, nah, you can't do that. I was kind of joking, like I meant it, but I was joking. You don't actually have to propose, and then that's why my proposal was pretty crap because I didn't think I was going to propose. I didn't have anything prepared. So that was the gesture that I needed. That was a reassurance that I needed to feel secure enough to take that next step, basically. Even though it was a bit of tongue in cheek, I did mean it. And then she kind of, but then it was mentally, it was like, bro, like you just told me yesterday that it was. One thing I would say is that I didn't understand how she made that decision in those 24 hours. I will say that I didn't understand. And I should have asked, actually. I should have asked what made you change your mind. I didn't ask her. I didn't ask that.
Why?
Surprising. I don't know. Now that I'm sitting there thinking about it, I don't know why I didn't ask that. I should have asked, like, what made you change your mind so in 24 hours? But she did. I think because I was the beneficiary of it, I didn't really think about it.
Okay. So help me understand, because you know, ladies they're gonna be on to me if I don't ask these questions. What was the jiu-jitsu that you used to get this girl to change her mind in 24 hours? Because it, you know, what jiu-jitsu of words did you use to twist up her right? What level of kung fu did you do to bamboozle her, to make her change her mind? You must have done voodoo witchcraft to her to make her change her mind. What were you doing? Were you chanting? What did you do to make her change her mind? Sir, we need to know. Because they said that there's no way that she could have changed her mind without you. You're the one that made her change her mind. You sitting there, you must have said something, done something, spiced her in some particular way through the wall. I don't know. So let us know. Let us know so we can also. I can ginger people.
Think about it. Think about what you guys see. Like you guys see me say to her, when she says to me, "Oh, I'm gonna go with my other connection." You guys see me say, you know, that's fine. Like, that's the decision you've made. It is what it is. I'm okay with it. Like, and I sit there and I drink my drink. And then we have a bit of a chat. Well, I say you can leave if you want to leave. Those are my exact words. It's on the show. We can watch the episode 4 or 8 or 3 or 4 right now if we want to. I say to her, if you want to leave, you can leave. And it's totally fine. I'm not holding it against you. And then, obviously, she stays. I didn't force her to stay. I didn't force anybody to stay. I didn't tell her to stay. I said you can leave.
You sure you didn't hold her hostage?
I said you can leave. You want to leave, and then she doesn't want to leave. So I'm like, all right, cool. At that stage, I'm just thinking, oh, we'll just have a friendly chat until it's time to get out of here. I start reading it. I was like, cool, let's go back through the notes. We go through the notes. That's like another half an hour, 45 minutes, because then she says her notes to me. Boom, boom, boom. And I don't know. I think that she got to the end of it and just kind of whatever that 45 minutes, hour period of that second to last date, something happened within that moment to make her feel like, actually, my decision that I just told you isn't quite right. But also, she's unlucky because in the real world, she'd have her phone. She could text Demola and be like, oh, I've made the decision. There was no communication until proposal day, so she can't express anything either, which is unfair. But that's the name of the game. That's the way the show works. So I didn't do anything. I just sat there and spoke, and just I didn't show any emotion in regards to her not wanting to pick me. I didn't get irate about it. I didn't like scream and shout about it. I just took it on the chin. But I think for a lot of men that's normal though. Like some men take rejection like very hard.
Yeah.
I personally don't. Like they get really emotional about it. I don't. And the reason I don't is because at the end of the day, it's her choice. I can't force her to pick me. Like, I can't force her to pick me. And I can't and that's why I didn't talk to Demola about it. And that's why he didn't talk to me about it, because he knows he can't force her to pick him either. Like the chips are gonna fall where they lay. So when she rejected me, I'm just like, well, it's disappointing. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not gonna sit here and beg you to pick me. You've made your choice. Good luck. So at what point did your cerebral mind recognize in that conversation when she said she decided to stay and she weren't going to leave immediately? At what point did you know she about to change her mind? Because if I know you and you know me, we like brothers now. We know that the tide done turned. So at what point, you help me so I can see where you see. What point did you recognize that? Yeah. The tide is turning still. The tide is turning. And don't you dare say when she said it. You had her before then, so we need to understand. I can't say that there was a specific moment, but I think when she said she's gonna stay, I was just like, well, you just told me you're gonna go somewhere else and you're staying. That's probably it. Like, if let me put it this way, bro. If I don't like a girl, and she and I reject her, and then she says to me, "You can stay if you want to stay. I'm gonna have my drink. You don't have to stay if you don't want to." I'm not staying. I don't like you. Well, not she don't like me, but I'm not trying to pursue this. So I would leave. So I would probably say that because she didn't leave, that's probably when I thought, maybe she does want to do something here, but I'm not pressing the action. I'm just gonna keep it casual. It will reveal itself if that's what she wants to do. Because at the end of the day, she's actually, although we propose, she kind of has the power because she's got two guys chasing her, so she kind of has the power in this scenario. Oh, yeah. So hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Sorry. 1 second.
Don't be breaking your mom's bathroom.
I'm actually in my old room. She just got some dusty curtains in there. All right, cool. There we go. We're back. Yeah. So what's happened here? Yeah. So that's pretty much why. So in that moment, I never I took it as a rejection. Like, that's how I took it. So it's just like, there was nothing for me to chase personally. What have I done?
That's the Lord telling you the light has been removed. Okay, cool. I get it. So obviously when you leave that, when you I want to be fair. So once you guys, obviously she ends up, she won't choose you. You don't get to see Demola again, do you? You don't get to see. You guys get to see each other before the mixer? Do you get to see each other?
No. So when I'm trying to remember now the sequence of events. So obviously you see the scene where she meets Demola, right, in Manchester, if you remember.
Yeah, you don't see him before then.
Far ahead?
No. I was just saying if you got to see him before.
Apart from going back to the lounge where we greet each other, we have a conversation about what happened. That was the last time I saw him.
All right. What was a little conversation like between you and Demola at that point then? Because obviously once you win in it and you come back after a 24-hour get round, when the Lord comes around and turns it around, you know what I mean? When he do it, what's
So that was immediately. So what you guys see?
Yeah.
what you guys see is immediate. That's immediately after he's been rejected and I've proposed. Then I come back into the lounge. And you'll see all the guys were very subdued. They didn't want to celebrate because obviously it was a bit insensitive to him to celebrate me while he's right there. So then that's why he hugs me and then he says, boys, let's celebrate, because he wanted to make sure that they felt comfortable to do that in front of him. But the conversation that we had, they show you guys a snippet of it, but we just basically discussed it like raw, like, what was she telling you? This is what she was telling me. And we just had that conversation. Like, she was saying this to me. What was she saying to you? So we was fleshing out, I was trying to piece together the story of like, how did she go from you ain't got nothing to worry about and Jav, I'm going with my other connection, to actually Jav, you're the one and he's not the one. So we were sitting there. The way they show it on the episode is like, it's a 30-second conversation. No, we sat in there talking for at least 5 minutes, like just back and forth trying to work out. Like, I remember I telling him, bro, today I thought I was going home. Like, I really thought I didn't think it was a proposal thing. I think it was a bye-bye thing. That's I came to say goodbye. So we just had that conversation. We were trying to piece it together because we were shocked. Like, we was shocked. I was still shocked. I was like, bro, like, how did this happen? So yeah.
See, that's got me intrigued now. And you know, me and you're both smart individuals. Yeah, I mean, and everything you say in the court can be used against you. You know this now. So now, when you and Demola are talking for those 5 minutes, I'm gonna make it thingy here. It's called, we call it a two-way trick on a four. You know, remember 4 ways? Remember that game? Yeah, I'm gonna give you one of those two-way tricks now. You spoke for 5 minutes, and Demola never told you that she's promised him that she was gonna choose him.
He never gave me the exact words, but he did tell me. No, he told me. That like he felt like he was going to be the one. Like he assumed he was going to be the one. That's why he was shocked.
So he never told you that he never said nothing. He never said that, oh, she promised me.
He never said the specific words of what she had
What did
said.
you infer from that? Him saying that
I knew.
No,
this is what I knew.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I knew.
I knew. You know.
I knew, yeah, for a man to be that confident, he had to have been told something. That's what I knew. Because knowing guys like Demola, you can't be acting like that unless you was told something very encouraging. You had to be given some encouraging words.
JJ, yeah.
It's impossible. So
I agree with you. Now, there's a reason why I asked that question.
I know why you're asking.
I'm glad you know.
I know why you're asking.
I'm glad you know, so we can both travel together. You understand? Because you're my brother. So he doesn't tell you, but you now know that something got told to him. I want to know where your trust level is at with Katisha. After you guys now leave and you might now go on this trip, on this holiday, I want you to be very honest now. See, the edited version, we don't mind it, it's there. I want the carnage. Where was your mindset really when it came to trust in that moment? Because you now know in the back of your mind, girl turned around in 24 hours and she must have said something to Demola, something deep to make that brother who's tall, 6 foot plus,
of course,
believe that he's going to be chosen, and then now he's not being chosen. So I want to know, where was your trust levels? Where was your brain at?
So that's a great question. Basically, when you do the reveal and we leave to go to Cyprus, a lot of the talk at that stage was all about Demola. So for her, it was hard for her because the producers are pushing everyone about it. All the other cast members are talking about it. Even you guys see the scene where Cal is pressuring her about it, which is ironic when you look back now, but that's another conversation. We'll get there. And then basically what happens is, I don't want to say too much, you know, she's not here to defend herself, but she was taking it she was not taking it well, like all the questions about how she made the decision, blah blah blah. for me personally, I didn't feel any type of way about her and that decision because I gave her grace that, yo, like the dating periods in the pods is quite intense. It's quite intense. Like, I recognize that dating, it's hard to explain unless you've been in it. Like, it is very intense. So I kind of gave her grace for that 24-hour switch up. Now, was I still confused by it? Yes. But do I give her grace? Yes. But I was confused. I was like, but you know what? We're here now. I'm going to give you grace. It is what it is. Now, it didn't bother me. The situation didn't bother me. You know what bothered me? I was bothered by proximity because I'm with her every day, and she, like, there was times where she's crying off camera. So it's not that the situation bothered me, but I'm with someone who's bothered. So just by being close to her, I'm naturally bothered, but not because of the molar or not because of the situation, just because it's bothering her. So there's a lot of times, throughout the process where they were basically trying to get me to badmouth Demola in interviews and and I'm like, I wouldn't do that, because if I had something bad to say to him, I would have said it to his face. But me and him, what they don't know is me and him were close throughout the whole thing. So it's like, I'm not going to badmouth him. So why are you not trying to do this? And then, what was I going to say? I was going to get to a point there. Oh, that was it. But even more importantly, there was times where I was having conversations with her, and I was just saying to her, look, like, you got to own this situation. Like, I was trying to put a battery in her back type of thing, for me to phrase it. I was trying to really gas her up and be like, look, you need to own this situation. They don't understand. You got two ways to go about it. You either need to just ignore it. You need to kind of put your blinkers on, put your shades on, ignore the hate, ignore what they're saying, people questioning you. You've got to be a bit more, it is what it is. But here's my mistake. I'm trying to place my mentality into her, but she ain't been through what I've been through, so she can't behave like me. And I'm trying my best to be like, no, like, just ignore it. Producers are asking you, ignore it. Like me, I didn't care what Cal had to say. I didn't care what Billy had to say. Jed, they can't influence me. I'm at the end of the day, I'm the only one that has to get married. They're not in my marriage. They're not cooking my meals. But she don't have that mentality. And I was trying to give her that mentality, but you can't give someone that mentality when they ain't been through what you've been through, right? So I think that really messed up her experience, which inadvertently messed up my experience. But it didn't affect my trust for her. It did make me scrutinize her decision-making process.
So where was your trust at? Because I appreciate you sharing that. It's good to get insight. But where was your trust at? If I was to say out of 100, bear in mind, we came from the same world. Yeah, I just didn't play football, but we came from the same world. When it comes to ladies, you understand what I'm saying to you? We know, family. You understand? Trust is not easy, because you have to earn them things there. Yeah. So obviously you got to earn it. So now old girl has done a 24-hour switcheroo, blood. You know what I'm saying to you? Now you went in love. So this is different. You went in love like that. You know what I mean? If it was in love, I would be like, all right, cool. Man could have missed it. No. You are cerebral. And I want to give you your applause because you are a cerebral, smart man and you think about things thoroughly. So I want to know, at that point in time, where was your trust levels? Out of 100 for Katisha. Let's be real. Girls crying over another man. Let's be honest. I'm not saying it plainly. I'm putting it plainly, but it's not exactly how it is. She was crying over another man. So real spit.
Yeah,
where
but
was the trust level?
but
at what point out of 100? Come on now,
yeah,
do me. Come on.
No. She's crying over another man, but it's not like
we know each other.
It's just the way that
she's
crying about a scenario. She's crying about the pressure that everyone's questioning her.
Yeah,
obviously it's to do with another man. Yes, you're right, but it's not the primary thing she's crying about. In regards to trust, so I can directly answer your question. Yeah. If you're saying on a scale of 1 to 100, I'd probably say it's like 70, 80. Like, I trusted her because I'm giving her a clean slate. So I trusted her you know, there's nothing
A
that
clean
she can
slate.
do in this
How do you
moment.
give it? How does Javen give her a clean slate in a scenario where you know cerebrally and you know the rules of dating that a woman turning her mind around at 25 when you say women don't even know what they want? How do you know that how can you trust that she even wants you? Come on, tell the truth, Javen. Free
Yo,
yourself.
they hated me for that comment, boy. They hated me for that comment.
Yeah,
I stand on
they've
it,
been
though.
asking me for time.
Boy, I stand on it. I ain't taking that back. A lot of women don't know what they want. A lot of men too, though. A lot of men don't know what they want as well. But
Fair
I
play.
still stand on it, though. Anyway, sorry. What?
Saying
But the reason I can the trust thing. Sorry, but the reason, but it's what I said before, though. It's not that I didn't trust her, but it put me in a position where I'm like, I'm really scrutinizing how you make decisions. I'm analyzing your decision-making process. It doesn't mean I don't trust you. It just means, can I believe in you? Can I trust you to make the right decisions? Do I feel confident in how you come to the conclusion of your decisions? That's, I don't know. I guess that's another way of saying trust, but I trusted her in terms of like, I didn't think she was going to hurt me or, you know, I didn't think she was going to hurt me or, you know, like not in that way, but more, how do you come to how do you make decisions? That's what I was probably looking at and questioning.
Okay, so was she forthcoming about the fact that she did promise Demola? Was she forthcoming about that?
No, she wasn't. No.
Javen, come on, help me here, Javen. She's not forthcoming. What's going on in your cerebral mind? What's going on? So she's not being forthcoming. What's your mind really thinking then? If she's not going to be forthcoming, and how long was that lasting for, that place where she wasn't necessarily forthcoming about what she actually said to Demola?
Yeah. So in Manchester, so you guys see the scene where we're at the dinner table and she texts Demola, like, I basically set that all up, right? But the reality is that before that scene, I'd already been telling her, yo, like, they're still going on about this. You need to take back control. So I'm trying to, because a lot of the times they'll tell you, look, things that you talk about off camera, you should talk about on camera, right? And I'm saying to her, look, if you want to take back control of this scenario, go request to meet him. Request that you meet him and they record it. Yeah, get it on camera, because then you can squash it. I'm encouraging her to do that. Alongside that, I'm also trying to get her to tell me what was said so that we can clear the air and we can make it look like everything's all rosy, right? But the problem is, you guys don't see this on camera, but the first time I asked her, which was, I think it was on camera, like, so like,
I think that wasn't on camera.
I said, there was the first time I asked her multiple times. So the first time I asked her, like, oh, so like, what did you say to him? Because I know he was very confident. Like, he was going around the lounge saying, Katisha's my wife, Like, what did you say to him to make him so confident? Mind you, I know she said something. I know she said something that was strong, because I know Demola. I know where he's from. I know he's not going to be acting like that unless he was given a very, 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 very strong word of confidence. So, so I asked her, the first time I asked her, she said, I don't remember. She said, I don't remember. I just started laughing. I just started laughing because I'm like, you don't remember what he said? You don't remember what you said? Sorry. I started laughing because I'm just thinking like, well, you know, how can you don't remember what you said? So I start laughing. Boom, boom, boom. Second time I asked her, she gave me another answer. I can't remember specifically. And then the third time is what you guys see on camera, where she says, you know, I told him not to worry. And then I can't remember how I reacted, but I probably laughed and smiled again anyway. Knowing me. So she said that. And really, that was like a symptom of our communication, in the sense that, you know, you should have just told me that the first time. Because at this stage, it's long gone now. It's not bothering. I'm not going to cry about it, but you should have just told me then. Why didn't you just tell me then? So alongside that is why I was encouraging her to also meet him, because I just felt like for her, that's kind of what she needed. And then, you know, there's a bit where after she meets him and she comes back, you know, I ask her, like, do you feel better about that? She's like, yeah, like, it's like a weight off my shoulders. I was like, did you apologize? She was like, no, I didn't feel like I need to apologize. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, that's how you feel. I can't tell you how to feel, but you know, it is what it is. Not everyone feels they have to apologize sometimes. So
they don't. But I want to keep it real between us two brothers here. We look at people and how they maneuver. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Of course.
Do the part of you feel like, rah, my God ain't even apologizing? Am I next? Because you're cerebral. You see, you know, fam. You know, we know, cuz you know the ones there. We know. So are we thinking? Because now you put together a picture here. I just want to just hear what, because as a cerebral person, I want to put the picture. You already know the picture. I just want to put the picture for the audience so they can rock with what we're saying. Yeah, we started off the process where we thought we were going home, bruv. Old girl turns her mind around 24 hours later. Now, the woman says juju and they say it's manipulation, whatever, but you didn't do nothing, yeah? She turns it around, yeah? And then suddenly she now chooses you. But you don't know why, but she just suddenly turned around, okay? Now, part of us, I know you're a baller, so there's a bit of competitive streak in you. You're probably thinking to yourself, part of it was because my flair. I'm just who I am, okay? Yeah, she ends up choosing you, turns it around. Doesn't tell you exactly why fully, but, and then obviously you spoke to Demola, he doesn't tell you exactly what was said, but you kind of deep that something's not going on right. Then we now get the whole process of you asking her what she actually said. She ain't saying it. So I'm going to be very real with you. I'm going to project my own thoughts into this thing and you can correct me as I'm going along. If I then think to myself, a cerebral individual person, this person's not telling me the full truth about what they said, there ain't no way I'm trusting you. There ain't no way. I don't care what anyone says. Maybe you like them or not. You already know that you're going to put a little bit of reserve in there, which says a little buffer thing. Yeah. So that if you do move mad, I'm already ready for your madness because I've put a little buffer there. You understand? So now you put a little buffer there. Old girl's taking a couple of days to come clean about the situation. People are now telling you like what's going on with the situation. Again, you're a strong individual. You ain't going to hear them. Right. But it's always going to be in the mind. And then you get to a place where you tell her, all right, listen, actually, as a sensible individual as you are, because you're deeping it from a long-term perspective. And that's why I really rate you. You were deeping it from a long-term perspective. You're thinking to yourself, this girl needs to go and speak to this guy to see how she's going to be. Because if she comes back and she actually feels a man, I'm good. I've buffered myself. If she goes with him again, cool. I've saved myself. If she comes back and she's cool with me, good. At least now she had that conversation. She's free. When she comes back and she ain't even apologizing about the fact she played her brother, right? I know your brain is going click, 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 click. Don't tell me your brain's not going click, 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 sir. So tell us the truth. At that point, she doesn't apologize. What are you thinking now, bro?
When she didn't apologize, I don't think, maybe at the moment, I don't think I really took it in too much because
fair enough. I
think some people, for them to say sorry, some people feel like sorry is an admission of guilt, or like it's like giving in. It's like, you know, some people are wrong and strong, right? Like,
yeah,
and others can be they're quick to take accountability and responsibility for their actions. Also, I don't think she viewed what she did as wrong, which is why she didn't apologize. So for me, it just added more to what I started to allude to in episode 7 and 8 about our communication and how we kind of deal with conflict is different. Maybe we're labeling it differently because I don't label it as a trust thing. I just viewed her actions. I started to really monitor and try to analyze how she behaves and how she handles scenarios, how she handles difficult scenarios. And that's very telling to me because in a marriage, in a long-term relationship or a marriage, you are going to have many, many very difficult scenarios. That is just a part of life, you know? So what I was counting in my mind was, okay, this is how she deals with difficult scenarios. How are we going to manage this moving forward when other difficult scenarios arise, which they will? As perfect as we want to be and that we wish to be as human beings, we're always going to have difficult scenarios. So I know that for me as an individual, I want to be with someone that handles these difficult scenarios in a certain way. Her not saying sorry, that might have just been her way. That was her way.
Did you think she was wrong?
Like, yes, but I give her grace for being. I give her grace for being wrong. I accept your wrongness.
Man, you're killing me. Hey, you're killing me, bro. Hey, you're the wrong. Listen, see me, yeah. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The way you're talking, if I can keep it 100% real, the way you're talking, yeah, I'm gonna say it without saying it. It's like you still have access. This is why you're talking the way you're talking. That's what it feels like, fam. I won't say anything else. I'll just say that it feels like man still got access. That's why man still talking like that. No, I said it feels like man still got access. That's why man's talking like that. Not necessarily you're not to say,
I'll forever have access, bro. That's just life, innit?
Yeah, you're moving mad. Get the heck out of me. So obviously, moving on. Hey, you're tapped. Moving on from this today, yeah. so moving on from that perspective, right? She didn't say sorry, daga. Okay, cool. We need to understand what the heck happened at this mixer thing, man. Because at the mixer thing, yeah, it was wild, right? It like, fam, you're having girls come up to you, telling you they got no panties on, okay, and you definitely were flirting, yeah. Because once you accept somebody flirting with you, you don't say anything. You kind of flirt, okay, unless you want to say you're uncomfortable. If you want to say you're uncomfortable, then I'll take it back. But you was kind of flirting, bro. I can't lie to you. Okay. So you can tell me differently. But if yeah, okay, cool. So at the mixer, what happened? What the frick happened? Tell me what happened.
What you see on camera or off camera?
I mean, okay, talking about what happened on camera first, because we see that obviously, you guys are all there, etc., etc. Everyone's come back now. But obviously you go separate and then you go to the bar and then certain ladies are approaching you. Anu's approaching you. Sophie's approaching you. You know what I mean? I don't know who else approached you off camera. We don't even know. Okay. What happened in that situation?
Don't you think it's interesting? Yeah. Like they only show me talking to all three girls as if the other girls weren't talking to the other guys. Doesn't anyone like when they watch it, don't they think that like Jav couldn't have been the only guy talking to all the girls, right? Like, you know, that all of us are in the same vicinity.
That's why they're not as handsome as just why they didn't see them.
But when the viewers give their comments, I just think, bro, like, do you think that I was the only one chatting to all the girls? Like, do you think that other guys weren't talking to the girls? Now, they may not have been as expressive as I am. They may not have been as boisterous as I am. But not a lot of them can be me. Just like I can't be them. So I just need to ask the question. Sometimes I feel like people, when they look at things, I'm like, don't you look at it like it couldn't have played out like that? Jav wasn't the only guy talking to the girls. And even the way they show it me talking to the girls back to back to back. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, just use your brain. Like, come on, bro. You can clearly see a narrative being built. It's just dumb. But anyway, I digress. Was I flirting? Listen.
Go on.
the way that I view it is my downfall was not shutting it down. I should have shut it down. That's what should have happened, right? And I can accept that. I don't deny it. I should have shut it down. But if you look at the conversations, right?
Yes, sir.
This is what people don't do. They don't look at conversation. Look at conversation. The first one, Anu comes to me. What does Anu say? What was her words?
We should date.
Why didn't we date more?
Well, yeah.
What did I laughed. I drank my drink. I was like, well, you know how the show goes. I said something like that. That's how the show is. She's
that one's
coming
not so
to me.
bad. Yeah.
But it's because I'm laughing and joking. Now, black people, sometimes, when we're in the room together, we can be loud, boisterous, laughy, jokey. Yeah. Cool. Yolanda comes to me. What does Yolanda say? How are things with Katisha? And I said, there's some hurdles. And I'm laughing, I'm joking. I'm like, there's some hurdles. The reality is, I shouldn't have said anything to her. I should have just been like, no, things are great. I should have been like, things are great. That's what I should have said. Things are great. How are you? That conversation would have been dead. Now, the Sophie thing, the Sophie, they come with the Love Island chat where I'm like, can I pull you for a chat? Yeah. Let me just tell you that obviously that was producer talk, innit? Like, I wouldn't pull I wouldn't even pull anyone for a chat because that's not how I move to girls. But you still have a choice. I could have said, no, I'm not doing it like that. So but they wanted me and her to have a moment together to talk.
Why?
So
since you didn't date much in the pod, I mean, you dated a little bit in the pod, but nothing.
Let me put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout without ruining things, throughout the process, there are some couples and some couples, they're under the microscope a bit more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I will say, me and Katisha are one of those couples where,
okay,
they had to put us under the microscope. Anyway, so the Sophie, what do I say? Oh, you live 5 minutes from here. Everyone's going on like that is mad. That is not mad. That was such a generic question. No, I'm not having it.
She makes another statement before that.
She makes an inappropriate
She's
remark.
A t-shirt and her panties on. In fact, panties weren't even on.
She makes an inappropriate remark about her underwear.
And how do you feel about that?
And I said, that's naughty. You need to stop. That's naughty. I don't see anything wrong with that.
You don't see anything wrong with that?
I called her naughty, and I told her, look, you gotta stop that. Like,
are you telling me you don't see anything naughty about that?
It was okay. Let me tell you what I should have done.
Okay,
I should have been a bit more. That was a time for me to be a bit more callous and be like, yo, we're not doing that right now. You know, take that flirting elsewhere. I should have shut it down. I didn't shut it down.
She was
and I basically. You're mad. You're mad. You're mad. You're mad. You're mad.
Sorry, you were saying about. You were saying about the situation.
Obviously, if she wasn't good looking, I would have probably shut it down a bit quicker. But the problem here is I shouldn't have held space for them to be able to ask me those questions, you know, or approach me in that way, essentially. So yeah, she makes that joke. I say, "Oh, you live 5 minutes away from here." Now, so I'll die on the hill that question, the way that it looks in the sequences, as if I'm suggesting that, oh, I'm gonna come see you after. But no, it was just like a generic chit chat. You might say, if I go to a bar and I know she's from Manchester, it's like, oh, like you live close by, because obviously it's filmed in Manchester, you know. So it's like, oh, do you live close by? So it wasn't. Like,
I know you're joking, Javan. I know you're joking, brother. No. You're joking.
Anything.
It wasn't suggestive. Do you know what made it suggestive? It wasn't actually what you. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. You understand? If I say, hey, I live 5 minutes.
All I say is, oh, you don't live far from here.
Oh, I live 5 minutes away from here. That's very different. I live 5 minutes away from here. It's very different from, hey, I live 5 minutes away from you. You know the difference. You know the difference. Listen, you know the difference. Come on, man. You know the difference. You know the difference. No,
that one I'm not. The rest I can be like, all right, cool. I can see how it's flirting, but this one I'm not having it. I'm not having.
What even led up? What led up to that? What was preceding that little comment there that you said 5 minutes? You know that your house. That you said that your house is how far?
No. She said she lives 5 minutes from here. So I was like, oh, you don't live far from here, right? And she's like, I live 5 minutes away or something like that.
Okay.
So again, that's a generic. To me, that's a generic statement, huh?
You don't have what?
Do I have a number? Like, did I have a number at that point? At that point, there was a group chat, but I didn't take anyone's number because they don't want you in the group chat. They don't want us to know what's going on outside of the couples. So.
Okay. And you never visited that house?
What kind of question is that? What kind of question is that? That night I spent in bed with Katisha. What kind of question is that? No, of course not.
You're killing me, bro. You're killing me. I've been backing you, bro. You need to come back.
You're asking me did I visit her house? I've never. Bro, I don't know where she lives, bro. I've never been to her yard.
You don't know where she lives. That's not what I said. No. But I hear what you said. Let's move on.
You asked me how I visited her. You asked me have I visited her house. No.
Yeah, you haven't visited her house.
No, hell no.
Yeah, okay. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what her bedroom looks like.
But I don't even
Doesn't
know where
cut
she
the
lives. I
walls.
know she lives 5 minutes from where the mixer is, but I don't. 5 minutes in what direction?
Is it easy to get to? 5 minutes from here. Is it got tube stations nearby?
Right, I wouldn't know. Manchester's not my size, bro. I'm from London.
It's a quick Google Map thing, you know. I hear it though. Okay, cool. You know ways. All right, cool. Okay, cool. So obviously we know that you've admitted that it was a little bit naughty with Sophie. You've admitted that it was a bit naughty.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll take that.
100%.
Okay, you do that. Okay, cool. Someone said that Anu stated that Sophie did come in there to flirt with you, so she had those intentions. She wants to catch you out. You know what I mean? Okay, so then
it's her though. They all were given an agenda to try and.
Okay, you said it was widespread. It's not just the Sophie thing there. They were all sent to come and collect you.
You gotta remember, as the show's being shot, they're already painting pictures of how they're gonna piece the story together. So, because even Yolanda, like what you guys see with me and Yolanda is not that wasn't even our full conversation. Same with Anu, that wasn't our full conversation, and same with Sophie, that wasn't our full conversation. But they got to put together the pieces that make the viewers think, bro, this guy's the man, isn't it? So,
okay, I like it. Okay, so obviously we know that you guys went out later on that night, right? It turned into a big boy issue. Okay, I know we've already explained it on our other live, but just for the people just quickly here, you went out. Now I know you told me last time that you kind of regretted it. Are you still saying that you regretted going out that night, really and truly?
Yeah, no, I regret going out because I know that that's like the action of me going out was the wrong thing to do.
What was wrong about it?
I want to know.
You went out. What's wrong with going out? There's nothing wrong with going out, Javen.
Well, in general, yes, there's nothing wrong with going out, but in a sense of obviously she wasn't there with me, and obviously what you guys don't see again. That's my favorite term right now. What you guys don't see is obviously upstairs. We have the initial conversation. I'm eating.
Yeah.
She's looking upset. At that particular stage, she had told me that she had a disagreement with Anu. They don't show that conversation to the viewers, but that's what she told me. So that's what I'm taking in. Oh, she's upset with Anu. So in my mind, I'm like, she's upset with Anu. Okay, cool. We go downstairs. She gets in bed. She's late, or she's laying in bed. I'm asking her to come with me. She says she don't want to come. I'm asking her, why don't you want to come? She says she's tired. She also asked me like, why do I want to go out? I'm saying no, like, I just want to say goodbye to the pod squad. She told me she's tired. She don't want to come. I'm thinking, I know she's not tired. I know she's upset, but I don't know what she's upset about. It can't just be Anu. But I'm thinking that maybe it's just Anu. So I ask her, why don't you want to come again? And I'm like, is there any other reason, basically? She doesn't tell me, all right? And then she's like, you can go, it's fine, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go. I'll be back. That's that, right? What you guys have heard her say, and she's even said it post the show coming out, is that, well, initially, she's changed the goalpost a little bit here. Initially, she was worried that I would come back hungover because we was going to Scotland the next day to see her parents, her dad, her mum. Now, I don't drink a lot of alcohol. She knows that I'm not a big drinker. She's never seen me hungover. She's never seen me drunk because I don't drink heavy like that. I'm not that kind of person. And if I was going to drink heavy, it wouldn't be people that I just met on a TV show. If I want to do that, I'll do it in a safe space of my personal friends or family. I'm not a heavy drinker like that. Like, so she was worried about being hungover, right? That's what she said. Now she's changed the goalpost a little bit. So obviously you guys don't see me asking her any of those questions before I leave, which again would add, I'm not saying it doesn't absolve me of going out because I shouldn't have went out anyway, but it would add more context to what's actually taking place. Whereas it just looks like I just put my jacket on and I walk out. And then obviously she's crying. I wasn't there when she was crying. I was already gone by then. Like,
that's fair. And
when I'm asking her why, I don't know why 100%, but I'm hoping that she's going to tell me why. Because what is the criticism that I've gotten from this? The criticism is that, oh, he showed a lack of emotional intelligence. Well, on the flip side, I would say she showed a lack of emotional integrity, an ability to show, an ability to genuinely, exactly express how she feels internally. Because just as much as we want to, people love saying, no, emotional intelligence. People don't talk about being integral with your emotions, right? And she didn't as much. And I'm trying to tee her up to just say it. And now I'm starting to wonder, post that moment, I'm starting to wonder, like, what have I done in this process to not create a safe enough space for her to tell me how she feels without worrying about my reaction? That is what is really now becoming something that I'm thinking about. Is like, how can I get you to a place where you can just tell me what you think and not worry about how I'm going to react? One thing she did say to me is that, you know, she's not used to that, because in the past, when she's expressed how she feels, she's always like been shut down, or she's had like bad reactions. Like the men have reacted badly to her. And that led us to an argument one time where I kind of said to her, maybe you're not ready to be here. Everyone keeps saying I'm not ready. Maybe you're not ready. We had a disagreement about that, because I was like, you're still not, the past is still halting you right now in this. Yeah. And I'm like, you're treating me like I'm them. Like I want you to feel comfortable to tell me anything, because if you don't tell me things, I feel lost in this. If you don't tell me things, I feel lost. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, as a long rant to basically say I shouldn't have went out that night, basically.
I don't think going out was the issue.
You don't think going out was the issue?
Shoot, why blow some steam, go out? Because that's I think that the key, and you kind of mentioned anyway, but the key thing is that she was upset, and that first scene where you guys in the kitchen, it's like, again, you might have asked her, but I'm just saying that's what it looked like. It's like you kind of just ignore the fact that she's upset in that moment. So going out, I don't think is an issue personally. You know what I mean? I know they cut and edited that way to look like that, but I think the main thing is that there's a conversation that's had, and there's no mention of the fact that she's lounging on the table, almost like she's got sad puppy dog eyes, and there's no real conversation about what's going on with her. You understand what I'm saying, Chief? And then you're going out. That's the issue for me personally.
Yeah, but no, I understand what you're saying. But like I said, she had told me, because I asked her what you're upset about. She told me it was an argument with Anu. So it's the upstairs. There's obviously 2 sections, right? There's 2 scenes: us upstairs, then downstairs in the bedroom. So the first scene is us upstairs, and that's where she tells me about the argument she had with Anu. So that's, as far as I'm aware, at that particular moment, I'm thinking, oh, okay, you guys had a disagreement. I wasn't there for the argument, so I don't know. That's the first time of me hearing about it at that dinner table. Then downstairs is obviously the second part of that. And then that's what I'm trying to find out. Is there more to this? Like, is there more that you need to tell me before I leave? Because if so, like, just tell me now, because I'll stay. If you
did she ask anything about what you said to Sophie or to Anu, to Yolanda? Did she ask any questions about what you said to the girls? Did she say you were smiling too much with 32 teeth?
Nah, she didn't say none of that.
She didn't think that you were smiling. She didn't think.
She didn't say none of that. But guess what? I would have preferred to have had conflict there and then if that was the case.
Yeah,
that would have been my preference. That would be my preference.
Okay. Because also we're coming to the last part of the interview, so I know your legs are going to dine on you. And I appreciate you. So with obviously going out, we know that obviously this is a Sophie situation in the photo booth that has a curtain that didn't have a curtain situation. You get there, you said you was only there for 2-3 hours, right? 2-3 hours, but you end up having an argument with Sophie. So I want to know, not the argument, what's the first thing you said to Sophie when you got there, apart from the fact that her house is 5 minutes away?
I don't know how far she lived away from the bar that we was at. What did we talk about? I can't. I can't remember like word for word, but I know that, or I remember that we was basically rehashing what we were speaking about at the mixer. Because if you look at the mixer episode, you guys don't get the meat and bones of our conversation. They never show you what we're actually talking about. They just show like little clips. And the reason they did that is because we were talking about some behind the scenes stuff. So we was having a disagreement about something a producer told her versus what they told me, and some of the inner workings of the show, right? I can't specifically get into like, what they actually said, because, you know, we sign contracts for a reason. As much as I want to, maybe I will once all this stuff is over. But so yeah, we was basically having a disagreement. Argument might be too strong of a word, but we was arguing essentially. Like, I'll stick to what I said. But we was having a disagreement. It was an animated disagreement. It's probably about 10-15 minutes. She goes into the photo booth. I go into the photo booth. I'm not saying it. I've already said it was the wrong thing to do. And I already apologized for it. It was about 10-15 minutes of us just going back and forth about it. That was literally it. We come out the photo booth, and then I'll just put it bluntly, in it, like, we was in a bar that wasn't it wasn't for the melanated folks. So what I did after that was I sat myself down next to Patrick, Demila, Anu, Yolanda, and it was us 5 in a corner, and that was it. After that, I've got footage on my phone of the night. There's footage in group chats of the night. I would post the footage, but I'm not messy. I ain't trying to do all that. I've got footage of that can prove I wasn't with so and so all night. I don't need to do that because this ain't a back and forth thing. I think the fact that they like, well, yeah, we'll get into that the lying section in a second. But yeah, so that's what happened.
So would you have gone into the photo booth if Sophie was clapped?
You're a madman, you know.
Because you're in close quarters. No, you're in close quarters. There ain't no, bro. I don't understand why you went to a photo booth, bro. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You don't know. Go on.
There was no reason for me to go in the photo booth. I've already said yes. That was
no. Don't worry about reason. What's the motivation? It doesn't really.
There's no motivation. We were just arguing.
No, there's a motivation. Roland said there's a motivation. What was the motivation?
There was no motivation.
There
was no motivation because we was disagreeing. Mind you, yeah. Remember the photo booth. What was I accused of? What was I actually accused of?
I don't know. It just sounded like you guys look having a cozy chat or whatever. You know what I mean? That's so. Right. So my thing is, right. was it a mom and dad argument, or was it a Mr. and Mrs. Smith argument? Because you see, that's how it can get misconstrued. See, mom and dad argument, we can all see mom and dad argument. Y'all are pissed at each other. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, sexual tension. So what kind of argument were you guys actually having?
Are you asking me if there was sexual tension?
I'm asking that because there's no way you're in that booth and you know that she's not clapped. I'm asking you.
Okay.
I'm asking if there was tension.
If there was, it wasn't on my side. It wasn't on my side. If there was, it wasn't on my side. I'm just telling you, it wasn't on my. If there was, it weren't on my side. And I think that what the argument in itself, it was a nothing argument. Like it was actually a nothing disagreement. Like it was nothing. It was here nor there. I would have been better off. I wouldn't be any better with it or without it. Like it was just like a nothing scenario, which is why I'm saying that like me just not going out in the first place would have been the smarter decision to make. Now, the question that people are saying is, well, you've gone out because you've already checked out the relationship, and that was your way of getting out of it or escaping or whatever. Mind you, I don't need to escape. If I want to leave something, I will leave. I have no issue leaving. But what I will say is it probably demonstrated, like my actions demonstrated that I probably wasn't in a place where I felt like I needed to keep the relationship secure, which is why I would make that decision. And I can look at that from a bird's eye view and say that, yeah, that's probably what it was.
Okay, so hold that comment. I just want to know, this is a serious question. The booth, when you walked into it, can both of you walk in at the same time through the door?
You seen the picture that they showed you on the reunion? It was massive. Yeah. It's wide open.
It's massive, but it is. But can both of you walk through the door at the same time in the photo booth?
Yes.
So both of you can at the same time. You can both walk into the door at the same time. Okay. Yes. So when you got into the photo booth, were you arguing back to back or front to front?
We were sat down.
You were sat down in the photo booth.
It was
side by side, shoulder to shoulder.
Shoulder to shoulder. Like a
so you were arguing like this, and you're cussing each other out like this. You're talking about stuff that's off camera. You shouldn't be
not face to face. No. So
no. So she's on your side, isn't it?
She's on my side.
Yeah. So wait, did you turn your head? So
if I'm here,
yeah,
she's there.
So you was She was like this, and he was cussing her out like, get yourself in check, ga 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 ga. You know what I mean? And how close were your faces? Could you feel her breath on your neck?
No, not that close.
Bro, you couldn't.
You can get the photo up. The photo, that photo.
Bro, forget the photo, bro. You here, bro? You can give us the experience.
It matters because the photo booth was huge.
No. What matters is your experience. Was the? I just need to know how close were you? That was it? Because that's what. Because this makes a difference. This makes a difference. You know, because listen, let me tell you something. When someone's clapped, you can't be that close. So listen, I'm trying to say to you. First and foremost, you was too close, and that tells me the reason why I'm saying that is because when someone's clapped, man, them don't want to be that close. Arguing, no, Gan. I'm sorry, not on a photo. We're not going to a photo booth. We're not going to a photo booth. I think you need to be honest out here. Okay, there was sexual tension on both sides. Not the one. You enjoy a little bit of tension. You like a little freaky leakness business. You like a little Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith stuff. Because there ain't no reason why you're in a photo booth, sir. That close. Would you argue? Would you argue with me that close? No. Wait. Would you argue with me that close?
It depends how intense it depends.
Get out of here.
It depends.
You gonna argue with me?
It depends how passionate the disagreement is. It depends what we're arguing about.
Yeah. And at that point, it's almost gonna be a fight because when man don't get that close, it's dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, but she ain't man them, so she can't box me.
Exactly. That's my point. So that's what I'm saying. It's tension because you ain't getting that close unless if it's another girl. It's no tension there, bro.
But what's your point? I don't even understand. What's your point? What's your point?
Huh? Don't worry, I'm rounding.
What's your point?
Don't worry. Anyway, I'm rounding. No, I'm not going to say the point yet. It's coming round. So back to your point that you were saying later on. I'm gonna come back to it later on. So come back to what you were saying. You said obviously at that point for you. That the place that you're at now with Katisha, you said obviously potentially could have felt like it could have felt like, you know, like you potentially maybe you were kind of drifting a little bit, maybe at that point or not. You were kind of expanding on that. Okay, so at that point now, because I think Anu kind of said it, not to me, but I think on another podcast where she was saying like she felt like you was coming in there a little single. Were you coming there a little single?
What at the reunion? At
the mixer. You came in there like. Yeah, it felt like you came in a little bit. You weren't really like.
Let me just keep it real, innit? I knew there's a reason why she said to me, "Why didn't we date more?" Innit? Let's just leave that one there.
This is the side I like of you. This is the diabolicalness I need from you. Okay, so yeah, it's that courage. I like it. Okay, so moving on from that point, right? Okay, so that thing, you go back, you have a conversation with Katisha. You don't tell her about the photo booth situation.
No, so
you tell that.
Mm-hmm. There's two sides to it. So, well, there's kind of not two versions. What happens is I come back. Obviously, that night I go back to bed, shower, go to bed, boom. In the morning, what you guys see is you see us packing the bags, right? And I'm in the vest. I've gone gym. I've come back. And I tell her that, yeah, I spoke to Sophie, Anu, and Yolanda. I never mentioned the photo booth. I just told her that I spoke to them. I don't remember if they show you that. They do show me us talking about it, but no, I didn't mention the photo booth.
Okay. Do you not think that's important to mention?
Okay. No, I didn't.
So you told her to speak to Sophie?
I told her that I spoke to all the girls. I told her I spoke to Sophie, I spoke to Yolanda, and I spoke to Anu. I told her that, yeah.
You told her that you argued.
That's why in the argument that me and Katisha have, I don't know if you listen, you hear me say it to her, like, oh, I told you that already. Like, I told you I spoke to them. I said that, like, that's why I argued with her. I was like, I told you this already. So, like, why are you trying to make it seem like I did something when I told you I spoke to them already? Because that was the first thing I told her in the morning when we woke up. Like, yeah, I spoke to them last night.
And I definitely understand that. So, with obviously Katisha, what was the thinking behind not telling her about the fact that you guys were arguing in tight spaces? And no, wait, actually, wait. Let me not say that because I can understand what I'm saying to you. Did you tell her that you argued, or did you say you had a conversation?
No, I told her that so basically I criticized Sophie. So I said to her, like, Sophie's a bit weird. Like, she was going on about producer so and so. I explained to her that, like, she was a bit off, like, a bit weird. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so obviously, then the next morning we see you guys obviously having a little argument, and it's looking long. It's even at that point, you know, and then later on she's gonna have a conversation with Megan, which is gonna cause her to then leave, right? At that point, where's your head at? Are you still in this marriage or you're out? I know it looks like you're in a marriage, but I'm saying really and truly, where's your head at? At this point now, after the Sophie thing, you've argued with Katisha, before she gets a conversation with Megan, comes back and says she's gone and gone, are you still in this marriage? Is your head still there, bro?
But you got it mixed up though, because she sees Megan first, then she comes back, then we have the argument. So at that point, immediately, I was thinking that she's gonna do what I said, because what the viewers don't see is in the argument, I stop arguing. The way it looks is I just go upstairs. Bro, I'm not just going upstairs, innit? Me, I'll argue till, you know. So I've said to her, look, forget all this arguing stuff. Go get Megan and Kieran and come back here. I'll be upstairs. That's what I said. They cut that out. They just have it. They just have me walking off upstairs. I would never just walk off upstairs in an argument. Me, I love to argue, so I ain't gonna just walk off. So I just said to her, look, like, there's no point in us arguing because you're not the one accusing me. She's accusing me. So how about you go get them two? All four of us, let's hash it out. That's what I requested. That's how I left the conversation. Then I went back upstairs. And the reason I remember this very clearly is because I remember because Man City and Arsenal were playing that day and I'm watching it. So that day was like an ambush. This was the one day I was like, rah, like, is she here for like TV or something? That was because I thought she was performing. Because I'm cooking, I'm come downstairs. I see the camera. That's why when I'm arguing, I still got my headphones in. I see the camera in the corner and I'm like, what's going on? Then I walk in the room. That's when she's packing her bags. That was the first time I said to her, like, I messaged her after. I was like, was that a performance? Because that didn't feel real. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, the argument is left by me saying to her, go get them and come back. I'll be upstairs. Meet me there. She never came back with them. That's what I asked for. She never came back with them, innit? Like, that's what I asked for. So, yeah, that happens. At that immediate point, I was just disappointed because I was like, well, in my mind, I've heard some people say, oh, but I didn't fight to keep her. But I told her what I wanted to do to come to a resolution. Bring them here. Just like how you see me confront Megan and Kieran on my own. I wanted to do it in her presence. That was how I felt. For me personally, that is how I wanted to deal with it. She just disappeared after that. I didn't see her again after that. So
wait, so you told her you wanted to have a conversation with Megan and Kieran, and then instead of actually staying to have the conversation, she dipped.
I never saw her again. Yeah, I never saw her again.
Hey,
that's where you guys see she's writing the note and then she leaves the ring on the table and all that nonsense. Like, that's what you guys see. But so these times I don't know where she is because they essentially separate us. Well, I don't know. I don't actually know. They will pull me for an interview while they're filming her leaving and all that stuff. I don't know though. I don't know what actually happened. Only she can tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, she left after I requested. I told her this is how. Let's just deal with it this way. So there's no more he say, she say. Like for me, what's the best way to deal with it? Get us all in the room, innit? You're accusing me. Stand on it. Let's do it in front of each other. But she didn't want to do that. So after that, I messaged her on WhatsApp. I WhatsApped her and I said to her, look, like that just felt like one big old performance. I don't know what you were on, but that was the first time I'm looking at you sideways, like, whoa, that was a bit fake. And then she messaged me back. She said she wanted to come back. She actually asked, I want to come back. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But obviously at this process, ultimately it's an experiment. So when you leave the experiment, you're not just allowed to just walk back in, basically.
Yeah,
she weren't allowed to come back. So, but then I was saying that, look, I'm not leaving this apartment until I get an opportunity to confront Megan and Kieran. So then that's when obviously that happens. And even that, like, even the way they show me calling Patrick before I talked to them two. It didn't go like that. The conversation with Patrick was after I had the argument with them. And I didn't even want to call Patrick. I wanted to call Demola because Demola I was with Patrick and Demola that night, but I wanted to call Demola. And the reason I was going to do that is because I knew that they were going to pit us against each other. So I thought, if I call Demola and he backs me, which obviously he would back me anyway, like it's more believable because they would think that we're against each other. So he's going to put me in the mud if we are against each other, truly, but we was never against each other, right? So, but they were like, no, you can't call him. So I had to call Patrick. And obviously Patrick was going to corroborate my story because I was with him. I was with him and Demola. And then, yeah, after that, obviously she couldn't come back. So I had the argument with Megan and Kieran. Megan runs off crying. And then Kieran's obviously got to back his girl. He's done what any man would do, even though he knows, but he's got to back his girl. So it is what it is.
Did you feel ambushed with I discussed this. We discussed this on the panel yesterday, actually, right? We discussed this on the panel that you can't win. I'll say it for you. You don't say the words. I'll say the words. You can't win white women tears. Because the one thing I said in my review after, and I'll say it. No, I'll say it because there is a component that does play a role in this, right? Because first of all, it's a man and woman component, but then there's also an aspect where, as a black man, you are seen as king. You are seen as King Kong. God, you're seen as a gorilla. I'm gonna put it that way, like the stereotype trope, right? And she's seen as the fainty, dainty white woman. And what I saw is that she cussed you out. Which, listen, you can have an argument, but the moment you end up cussing someone out, right, and swearing as you leave, I also, and my audience know me, I think this, when people start doing that, I don't give you grace. Because if a man does this, I call him out for the exact same thing. You have an argument, say your argument, you get pissed off, you walk off, cool. But the moment you start swearing and cussing the person off and saying they're effing this and effing that, I then start looking and going, then also I'm getting done dirty. Because the one thing I also noticed, and I said it to the audience, is that I hated it because it's like being at work in corporate. One of the things as a black person, as a black male, or even a black woman, sometimes it happens to them as well, right? Is that you can't say your piece without somebody going, you're aggressive. You know what I'm saying to you? And so one thing I noticed is that your hands were in your pockets. And I said, that's sad for me as a person, that your hands are in your pockets. You can't even gesticulate because it will look like something else. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, I'm not giving you grace for the fact that you, whether you felt like, I'm not saying about that, but I'm just saying in terms of the actual interaction, I felt like that was, there's no wins in this aspect. You know what I'm saying to you, right? In that particular aspect. Now, you was doing a bit of semantical aspect, but I'm just saying to you, I still feel like there's no win in that aspect. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's just something I just noticed myself personally, and I wanted to bring it to a fold. You don't have to comment on that because I can understand it can get a little bit tricky, but that's just something I was aware of.
The way that I put it is because a lot of people will say, "Oh, he's deflecting or he's using semantics to get out of the argument." That don't make sense. The reason that doesn't make sense is because semantics matter, and the way that you portray something and the way you convey something matters because you are insinuating something. I am not saying that the curtain is important. It is not important. I shouldn't have been in the photo booth. I shouldn't have even gone out that night. It is not important. But the lie of saying that there was a curtain, I said there wasn't a curtain. Megan says, yes, there is. Kieran says, I saw you go to the curtain and pull it. Those were the words, yeah? That's what I was accused of. Now, if people don't think that there is something a little bit problematic about that accusation, yeah, if people don't think there's something problematic about that, I think there is an issue that there's some internal things that they need to there's some introspection that they need to go through from a historical context to even now about why that particular, those particular insinuations are problematic. It's not a rocket. You don't need to be a rocket science to work out why the accusation is problematic. Again, I'm not saying that it absolves me and my poor behavior. Let's not. Two things can be true at once. It doesn't absolve my poor behavior, but the lie is also problematic. I don't understand why. I don't understand why that's so difficult for people to understand. That's not a difficult thing. And then to add to that, all I would say is that if someone could be so bold in their stance, so bold to say that, wouldn't you logically just question other elements of their story? That's all I would question somebody. I'll be like, okay. So what else in this story was embellished, or did we add a bit of extra salt on this part or that part? Because I remember this, but actually I lied about this. So to me, that kind of feels like a logical question. It's a logical question to ask. I think it's a reasonable question to ask. But but also as a viewer, and this is why I don't really engage too much, because I think, well, as a viewer, I've already been painted in this picture. So to have the argument after what they've shown in the pod stages and in the mixer, and now I'm up against the golden couple. Like sometimes, as the viewers, the hatred for me overrides the logical thinking of like, okay, we should be questioning this. Also, we should be holding them accountable for lying and not apologizing. So there's so many layers, and we can talk about there may be racial undertones to it as well. But I'm gonna leave the viewers to say that. I'm not gonna say it, but I'll leave the viewers to say it. So I think, you know, there's a lot of things, and a lot of people don't want to look at it for multiple reasons, and that's why you don't engage in the comments, because a lot of people are just dumb. In the nicest way possible.
I hear you. No, I hear you. I definitely hear you. I understand. I understand that perspective. You know what I'm saying to you. So, like I've said the same thing to my audience. If someone's indignant on a detail and they can tell you that 100% they know it's there, another person says that 100% is there, because originally when it was shown, a lot of people said, oh well, if both of them saw it, then it must be true. And I said, well, if they're them both not to be told that they didn't see what they see, and that's also a lie. Because obviously, if two people can tell you that they saw something and they didn't see it, then we have to look at the fact that maybe a lie here, that both people have tried to lie about something. And if that's the case, I have to look at the scenario a little bit differently. That's not to say again that removes accountability from Javen and what I saw in terms of the behaviors. And you've been seeing me in this interview, I've been calling them out. But just to say that, like I said, I think the words two truths can be correct here as well. There was some aspect that's not quite right. Why were you so indignant on a curtain, and the curtain was never really there? Which means I have to question every detail now that you've ever said about a situation. That's just a natural conclusion of things. It's just not in a court of law. I think if there's a massive detail and you can't tell the truth about that, we'll look at you some way. I just think that's what it is. You know what I mean? So I can get that perspective, and see that particular perspective as well. Okay, cool. So being in that perspective, obviously, then you know, I know that you're in the Kieran situation and the Megan situation that passed. The reunion, our last leg now, you know what I mean? Okay, a reunion. How was a reunion for you in your perspective? Were you coming with a mindset you're going to clear things up? Were you coming with a mindset that, you know what, just can't wait for it to be done? What was the mindset of you coming into the reunion?
Well, I knew that the curtain was going to be a talking point. I knew the curtain would be a talking point. So I just thought, all right, I already had footage of the curtain, but I just didn't send it to them. So I already knew if there was a photo of the curtain, the photo booth, I was going to be fine. I think that for me at that particular stage, because at that stage in the reunion, the wedding episodes hadn't been out yet. So in my mind, but I knew obviously what had happened. So I was more just trying to make sure that I was able to get across, because as an audience, is more just trying to get across that, like, that I basically, that what the people didn't see kind of affected how we looked as a couple, because they didn't get to see any positive moments at all. Literally, when I watch all episodes, I'm like, you guys didn't show us in any positive light, like it didn't happen. Like a prime example is episode 5 or 6, where they start the episode with all the special dates, right? You see Jed and Barda on the buggy date. You see Kyle and Sarova doing a mud massage date. You see Billy and Kyle on the waterfall date, and then you see Megan and Kieran on the boat, on the yacht, and then you just see me and Katisha in the room, like sat apart, as almost as if we didn't have a special date. When we did have a special date, we had like a wicked date, like on the beach. They gave us like food on the beach, blah blah blah. And I'm watching that, and as I'm watching that, I'm like, raw, like you showed everyone having a special day except us, even though we all have a special date assigned to us. So I'm like, I'm like, nah, this is mad. Like, you lot are really. So the reunion for me was more just like, I was more doing it for the live audience than the recording, because I'm like, I need you lot to know that they tried to play us a little bit. So yeah, I wasn't really worried, because I also knew you lot will see my facial expressions, but I knew that these other men were gonna get cooked. Like, let's keep it real, innit? The show is 90% female audience. 90% it's a female power trip, yeah. in the nicest way possible. It's a women's power like show. All the man got cooked except me. I didn't really get cooked because they couldn't cook me because they can't argue with me. But everyone else up there, they got roasted except for Jed. Jed did all right. But apart from, and obviously Kieran, because he's the only one in the couple. Like the rest of them, they got butchered.
Carl was really cooked, yes.
Yeah, they got butchered. Like they literally got butchered. And yeah, it was I felt bad for them, to be honest. But I understood though, because they made a choice that maybe they shouldn't have.
Obviously, then Megan and Kieran get shown to that the curtain weren't there. They didn't apologize on the edit, but did they apologize eventually for misrepresenting that particular truth to you?
No. They did not apologize, but it's fine. I've got their phone numbers. If I want an apology that bad, I would call them and be like, yo, you don't know you did wrong. You don't know you lied. You don't know you embellished the story. You don't know that's problematic on multiple levels. Some levels that you two would never truly understand, but it's fine. But I don't care. I don't need an apology.
Okay. Was there anything else that happened in the reunion you wanted to clear up or show, talk about, really, to clear the air? Was there anything that we didn't see that you maybe want to?
Yeah, there was some bits that you guys didn't see that they cut out, like, but it was more just me talking and explaining things. But I've already explained it throughout this. So.
Did Katisha not cuss you out?
No, she can't cuss me out. How can she cuss me out?
You know, she might have felt like you weren't there for her the way she needed you to be there.
I'm a difficult man to argue with, so I don't think it would have went well.
But she could still cuss you out. I mean, she cussed out. I mean, she cussed out a little bit, Sophie, a little bit, but she not cuss you out. She didn't say anything. She did not say anything like, because it looked like she was mad silent with you. So I don't know if that's the editing. Did she not really say anything like?
She didn't say much to me, but what you got to understand is that from what you guys see versus what actually happened, she still recognizes that. And the you know what? The one thing I was disappointed with is when she was like, I explained, you know, that, you know, I still appreciate her, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, I wish you said that when we was together, or wish you said it more. That comment disappointed me because it was almost like she watched the edit and like got confused by the edit herself. Like she didn't know, because there's a reason why she ain't bad mouth for me, because she knows that like what was shown wasn't 100% accurate. It was probably about 15% accurate. So that's why she wasn't like upset or like wasn't coming with that animosity that everyone else was getting. You know, everyone else was getting. I look at the way Sorova was talking about Cal and Ashley was talking about Billy, and even the way Bardo was talking about Jed. You didn't see that from Katisha, and I think it's just because it's multiple things. But I didn't try to be someone I wasn't around her. You know, like I didn't sit there and say and pretend to be someone I wasn't. So yeah.
So obviously after the reunion, maybe even between the reunion before we got to that place, obviously what's the extent of you and Katisha? Are you guys still together?
No, we're not together, but we're cool, innit? Like we don't have any. There's no drama. There's no beef. Like we talk. Like we still talk. Like we spoke like cool. 2 or 3 days ago, maybe. Okay. We're probably on the friendliest terms out of all the couples, apart from the married couple. So yeah.
So are you dating now?
Me personally, or am I dating?
Not Katisha. Dating in general. Sorry.
I'm open to dating, but right now I'm just taking my time, man. I gotta clear my name on these. I gotta clear my name on these streets, bro. I gotta clear my name on these streets. They tried to throw dirt on my name, bro. They tried to misrepresent the truth. So I gotta make sure that it's clear out here.
I mean, listen, I'll be honest with you. I mean, as a rounding up now, I do think that obviously that I think you got a bit of a bad, I wouldn't even say bad edit, but I think people took your thing to the furthest extent. You know what I mean? We've seen some bad people on these shows. I don't think you were even half as bad as some of the people that we've seen on these particular shows. You know what I mean? But I think they obviously needed a villain. People needed someone to get behind. They usually do it. It's a story. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you don't have your faults. Doesn't mean that you weren't a little bit cheeky. Does not mean you didn't break some boundaries, and doesn't mean you didn't tell us the whole story. But I'm just saying that I didn't think you were as bad, nowhere near as bad as what we've seen on other Love Is Blind in terms of the US version or even the UK version first season. So in that particular aspect, what area of accountability will you take from the relationship with Katisha going forward? Where's your accountability in this situation?
I would say there's a few things, man. I think the first thing I would say is obviously around from the mixer onwards, right? Like I said at the reunion, ultimately, if I didn't go out that night, it doesn't mean that it would have fixed everything. We probably would have had other issues down the line. But if I didn't go out that night, it wouldn't have ended as explosively as it did. That's the first thing, I shouldn't have went out that night. Second thing is, in regards to the mixer, my energy shouldn't have allowed people to feel like they could talk to me that way. I shouldn't have held space for them to talk to me that way. You know what I mean? So that's probably, those are the two main areas from that point. Those are the two main things. I would say, yeah. What was the actual original question? Sorry, I kind of just went off there.
No, you answered it. You answered it. It was about your accountability that you would take from dating Katisha. What would be your accountability?
Yeah, then those two. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that, man. You know what I mean? I would say same thing I said to Anu. I would say to you. I honestly think. Listen, I think you have good intentions. I don't know how in tune you are with your emotions. You're cerebral, and sometimes that can be great, but that can also mean as well there's missed opportunities, right? Because I think you are, and I appreciate your honesty earlier on by saying you wanted to save her. I think I've had that as well too, something I've worked on. So I know how you're not a bad guy. You know what I'm saying to you? I think you're more of a lover boy than anything. You know what I'm saying to you, right? Who has, you've developed some skills along the way to make sure that your heart don't get broken like it used to, right? So I think for you personally, what I would say as a takeaway is that to be more in tune with your emotions, bro. To be more in tune with that, because that also allows, and I know I don't think you were making Katisha feel unsafe at all, but it becomes harder to also be able to create the safe space, because actually, and if we were to really be honest and go deeper with it, is that her not being also forthcoming is actually kind of scary, being on the other side as a man. Maybe we might not use the word scary, we might use a different word, right? We might say that it's just not, I don't like being around that, right? But even just saying not being around that, it's kind of our invulnerability. We don't make it like it was soft, you understand? So, but the reality is that when someone's not as forthcoming, when they're also not as emotionally in tune themselves, right? She also is going to come off a particular type of way. It's what I felt was like you two kind of almost cancelled each other out a little bit. It's like the moment that she goes a bit more colder, it's like, okay, I got to make sure I'm good. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. But I would tie that to what I was saying is like I said I'm not forthcoming. I'm open, but I'm not forthcoming. And then I would say, everyone loves to talk about the emotional intelligence, but then where's the emotional integrity? I think that it's kind of like it goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? So I agree with what you say there.
I appreciate it. Well, listen, look, Javan, you've cleared up what we can clear up. You know what I'm saying to you, and you've been on it twice, and I appreciate it because you actually took all the heat that I gave you. So, I appreciate that that you've opened yourself and availed yourself as well. Have you got anything going on at the moment that we can support, get behind, whether it's a business, whether it's a charity, whatever, anything you're doing right now? How can we get behind and support you as well?
Probably just my YouTube channel. So I talk a lot about like issues in the Black community, specifically British Caribbean and British African issues that we are facing, family dynamics, young Black men, young Black boys, and the issues that they're facing. My YouTube channel is just my name. You should be able to find it. So yeah, that's that. Before we go, there's comments, right?
Yeah.
Right now I can't see any comments. How do I see comments? We got 5 minutes to do some Q&A.
It's your time. I'm good, bro.
No, we're good. I want to do 5 minutes.
All right.
I don't want people to think I'm in and I don't want no smoke.
Okay, how do I add?
Viewers. How do I view
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
comments? Can
got
I view
you.
the comments?
Okay, are you in the StreamYard? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in StreamYard. Yeah.
Okay, so you
Oh, is
should be
it
able to.
so private chat? Is it the comments to the
Yeah,
right?
so way up to right on that same panel at the top. It should be
Ah,
comments.
okay. There we go. I see it. I
So
see it.
you feel
Someone
free.
said
You
you
let me
don't want
know.
to see the comments. Lydia says you don't want to see the comments.
Oh, where we at? Okay, Lydia. Okay, yeah. That's this one here.
Oh,
Okay. So you want to find some questions for you. Let's
I'm
see.
ready. Let's go.
Well, listen, audience. He's got a few minutes. He's got some minutes
Yeah,
on
let's
him.
go.
He said he's
Let's
ready to
do
ask the
some-
questions.
let's do
He's
some
getting it all
questions.
out now. If you got some questions, listen. I wanted to send the questions, and I'll be looking at it, and I will bring it up to him to answer as well. Okay, someone asked the first question. Do you like Katisha for real?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's quite difficult to get that far in the process and not like the person. Was everything perfect? Of course not, as you guys saw. But no, I definitely liked her. I guess my battle was, what was I in a position to fall in love with her? Did I feel like we was going to fall in love? Probably not.
What would it taken to get you to fall in love?
To fall in love, we definitely needed to fix our communication issues. That was, for me, that was probably the biggest thing. That was something I spoke about very early in the pods, and I kind of set my non-negotiables very early about what I need, and I expressed how I wanted it to be done, but I don't think she was able to kind of meet that, and I wasn't able to meet what she needed either, by the way. So it goes both ways.
Okay, I hear that. Next question we've got here is, can you please tell us how you were ready for marriage, not just a relationship, but a legal union?
This is someone asked me this today, and I think that in my life, like in the setup of my life, I was ready for it, and I am ready for it. But I personally don't believe that thinking that you're ready for it is what's important. What's important is actually finding someone that makes you feel like you're ready for it, the connection. Because all the other guys said they were ready for it, and guess what? Out of all the 5 couples, 4 of them are sitting in the same seat that I am, and they all seem to be ready for it. So I think what's more important is, am I going to meet the right person that makes me feel like we're ready to take that next step? That's my opinion, isn't it? Like, that's just how I see it. I understand why people ask that question, but I don't think that's the right question to ask, personally.
Cool. Do you see yourself going on any other date or any relationship shows anytime soon?
At this stage, obviously, this is my first time doing something like this. At this stage, the money needs to be, I need to be getting paid.
I hear
Needs to be getting paid.
I hear it. I'm not gonna joke. Okay. Someone said youngest of how many?
I got 2 sisters and a brother.
That reminds me. The question around I did miss is around your sister. She when you went around the house, it looked like your sister was basically saying she don't think. I think people were feeling like, almost felt like you weren't ready. You know what I mean? Like she knew something that we didn't know.
What my sister was saying.
Would that be fair to say? Yeah, I think the audience were kind of seeing that. It felt like the sister felt like I think they were feeling or perceiving that the sister might have been saying, quote unquote, like you're not ready. In a sense.
No, I think my sister's spoken to me about what she actually said to Katisha versus what they showed.
Oh, okay.
I think that my sister was trying to get her to just like understand how to communicate with me better. So because she said, oh, you know, you're not going to be able to read him, blah blah blah, which is why. And I spoke to my sister, obviously told me, like, she had told her that, yo, like with Javen, you need to be like very, you need to be very straight to the point. You can't do this beating around the bush thing. You don't really work with him. So yeah.
Cool. Crucial J said, what made you feel like you were ready? Well, you already answered that, kind of. Well, I don't know if you just asked. Did we answer that question already?
What made you feel like you were ready to marry? Well, I think by the time, like towards the end, I don't think we were ready to get married.
Yeah.
So
let's see. Someone said,
to add to that a little bit, is that when you propose, yeah, I made a comment during that stage of like, oh, it feels like she's my girlfriend. And what I meant by that, a lot of people kind of gave me stick for that comment. But the reason I say that, of course, she's your fiance, but it's 11 days. And some people, there's a specific individual in the show, yeah, and you might be able to take a guess, but there is some people that got caught up in the process rather than what was actually happening. I didn't get caught up in the process. I was thinking about what was actually happening. And with that, after you do the proposal, basically I've got 3 weeks to see if this is someone that I can marry. So for me, she was my girlfriend. I'm trying to see, can I make as much happen in this time to see if I can fall in love? Someone got it right. Alexia, you are a very, very smart individual. She knows exactly who I was talking about.
Okay. Street tea. No, that's I'll go past that. So what did you learn to not do in your next relationship?
Good question. We'll go to 10 p.m. Yeah, is that cool?
Oh, that's cool. 10,
yeah,
that's cool. I'm going gym after anyway.
What did I learn not to do? I think I won't flirt in front of her, and I won't go out if she's sad.
Absolute diabolical. Would you choose Yolanda? Apparently, you had to pick up your lip from the bottom of the ground. Apparently, were you picking up your lip from the bottom of the ground?
What, Yolanda?
Yeah, someone said your jaw was on the bottom of the ground, blood.
Yolanda's. I'll probably be
Your
more on Anu than Yolanda. Like, if I'm talking like walking down the street and stuff, probably.
Yeah.
But I like Yolanda.
Wait, what's even your type?
So generally, I've usually dated dark-skinned women. I've dated mixed race girls. Dated a few lighties in my time. But my preference, if you're asking me preference, I'm on a Dr. Umar thing, man. That's what I've been saying.
You know, Dr. Umar thing, you sure?
I'm on a natural hair thing, Dr. Umar thing.
Okay. And you sure?
Girls get upset with me because I'll be like, look, like, I'm not a fan of like, I don't even want to say it. I ain't gonna say it. I know you're trying to get in trouble.
What the makeup?
There's
nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you say it in a kind way, I get it. I'm not a big fan of makeup either.
No, it's not even the makeup. Makeup I can handle.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe your one's the head top one. Maybe you like that. You like no, but there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. No, listen. If we're respectful, I don't think there's anything wrong. My audience already know. I've said this already. I love a level 1. I love the level 1 with the squiggle in the line. I love when you do the blonde, the platinum hair, the level 1.
Okay, see, you're talking my language, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Talking my language.
Get me.
Yeah.
Get me.
You get what I'm saying? All right, cool.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm with you, bro. Don't even worry about that, fam. I've got you, man, bro.
Yeah,
Get me?
cool. Yeah.
You know, I know what you're on, fam. You get me?
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Oh, yeah. No. I got you, bro. I got you. Was Katisha smart to you? I think because I think they were holding on to that line, you know. They were asking to hold on to that line. Yeah, they're holding on. Just because you said that some people are not smart, that's what they've been holding on to it since then. You said that.
It's not that she's smart. She's very she's smart in but it's expressed in different ways. I think sometimes people display intelligence in different ways. I don't like she's not as analytical as me. She's not like she doesn't think about things as critically as I do. But it doesn't mean
that's what it is. It's critical thinking.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you mean that when you said earlier on smart, did you mean more the critical thinking thing? Because critical thinking doesn't also mean intelligence. It just means
exactly. It doesn't mean intelligence because you can think critically and be dumb. Like you can literally think critically and be stupid. Like so, yes.
Okay, cool. I hear that. Rose said, "Who are you friends with in the pods?"
Jed, Demola, Tom, Charlie, Patrick, Billy, Cal, a guy named Chris, which you guys don't really see too much of. Those are like the main guys. There's another guy called Ross M, who I'm cool with as well. But those are the main guys. But me, Demola, Jed, Tom, and Charlie, we have like a separate group chat, just us 5. But I'm still friends with with the rest as well.
Respect for that. Ravine said, "Did you date anyone serious when you were in Atlanta? Why or why not?"
When I lived in America, I probably after a year, I knew I was going to come back to London. I just knew. I just wasn't in love with America. So I dated, but I did find it difficult because I just felt bad. I always felt bad because I was like, I'm not going to be able to tell this lady, hey, yeah, you need to come all the way back to the UK, and I wasn't going to stay there. So I dated a lot of girls, but I just never got to that level. I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like it was right for me to say to a woman, hey, you need to move all your stuff and come back to London with me.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Who after meeting them do you think would have been a good match for you, if anybody? Oh crap.
Oh man, probably Laurie. You know, the only issue with Laurie was just the age difference. If she was 30,
well,
35, I was 28 when we was recording. She was 38 or 37.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's a big gap. Yeah.
So
it's a big gap. She got that personality like that. It's fire.
She's from Tottenham, so like she's from the area. Like I'm from Lewisham, she's from Tottenham, so it's like it's not like she's doesn't understand things. Like there was a lot there.
Ends.
But yeah, exactly. So I think culturally we would have been fine. But yeah, man, it was just didn't. Yeah, the stars didn't align on that one.
I hear what you're saying. Okay. Someone said, what are you doing now to prepare for marriage?
Nothing.
Javan.
Nothing.
You're not doing anything to prepare? Yeah?
The only preparation I can take is to be ready for the right opportunity, the right person that comes across my way, to make sure I'm ready to embrace and be the person I need to be for that individual if they come and when they come. I don't know when they're coming though, so I got to take my time.
Do you think you need to work on being more forthcoming since it's scary not to be?
It's a good question, but I think that sometimes men that are too forthcoming, they burden other people, and I never want to be a burden. I don't want to be a burden. So
that's an avoidant perspective, but I hear what you're saying.
I don't know if that's something that I feel like I need to work on. I could be wrong. I'm open to criticism. But
I won't say criticism.
I don't feel like I don't feel like being forthcoming is going to make me a better person or it's going to improve my dynamic in a relationship. Like, I think as long as I'm not closed off and I allow people and allow my partner to know that they can get what they need out of me or from me, I feel like that is enough, you know, in my opinion. That's my opinion, you know.
Because I think because when you said it, I'll be honest with you, it sounds like an avoidant perspective, right? So obviously I'm an avoidant becoming more secure, and what that just generally means is that we tend to be a little bit more dismissive of emotions, right? So it's like dismissive not just of your emotions, your actual needs. So if you have emotional needs, you're kind of pushing it a little bit aside to say, like, for instance, you just said here, I don't want to be a burden on nobody. But the reality of the situation is, bro, like in any relationship, whether it's friendship, family, whatever, there is an interchange that needs to happen between two people. You know what I mean? So and I said this to Anu today in an interview, and I said, listen, if you're always giving, someone's going to always take from you. It's not balanced. You should be giving and taking. So although I know you don't want to be a burden to anybody, because maybe that's how you felt when you were younger. You know what I mean? So we didn't go there. I could have really gone there, but I wanted to just spare you today. You know, I don't want to give you too much hala. But like, I think that can also play a role in it. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to be forthcoming and be balanced and okay with that, because I need to know what you're going through. Like, if you're telling me, bro, man needs to talk, and be forthcoming about, all right, cool. Let's talk, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna look you in the way because you're my brother. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's just it's to help each other out, so everyone knows where they stand. But you know, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. Someone asked, "Are your DMs open?" And I got one last question. Are your DMs open? They're always open.
Yeah, I guess they're open. Yeah,
for the right opportunity.
Open, everything for the right opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, don't come in there if you know. You should know yourself before you enter the DM. Is what you're saying.
Don't enter if you ain't got the heart of a lion. Just stay at home. Stay with the poodles.
That's it. You know what I mean? Don't come here and do anything. And then finally, someone asks, "What is your channel name link?" There are too many J's.
Let me just get it. Let me just
send it to me and I'll send it in there.
What is my channel name?
Whatever I said, whatever I think, I didn't need
And I
it.
end the comments. Oh,
I just want you back for good. I want you back. I want you back. I want you back for good. Someone said his YouTube is Javen Palmer. Type his name. So you're the original Palmer. Go with it.
There we go. I've put it in the chat. Oh, thank you, El Cid.
Yeah, she put the name in there. I'll put it on the screen. She said it.
I got a #1 hater in here, room renter. I'm seeing these comments.
Yeah, they're on your net, boy. Room renter said, "Listen, she won't forgive you forever." They said, you must have dated her.
They said Jav has trauma from his loss of football career. Please heal. I'm
you must
scared
have
of these
dated her and left her
women.
behind. Who's your ex that you haven't said anything about? Who's broke their heart? Whose heart be broken?
It's like they're begging to get hurt. Ladies, avoid this man. I've been happily married for years.
She said she ain't gonna let you go, bro.
Whatever I've done to you, I'm sorry. Hey, room renter, I'm sorry. Whatever trauma I reactivated in your mind, I apologize. I apologize. And Katie, you too, because clearly I done something to you. I don't know what I did to you, but you stand with room renter.
Katie's she's a personal troll. She trolls people for fun. She'll stand with anything that'll troll you. So as long as you can be trolled, she's gonna troll you. So shout out to Katie, man. She's a bless. Thingy. Okay. So wait. So before we go, we need to get back on the channel though. Not for Love Is Blind. I think some relationship talks will be good between us, bro. I think if we get, I said said the same thing. I think if we get you guys on, just not about Love Is Blind, just like general dating talks and stuff like that. You get me? You know, you can give people the clue them on what's going on the streets. Yeah, you need to understand what's going on. You know what I mean? General chit chats.
I'm active, bro. I'm active as long as you know. Just let me know when. Yeah, just let me know when and where. And yeah, I'm more than available. I'm reading some of these comments. Cynthia asked a good question. What makes you remain secure and confident despite people's criticisms? That's a good question, actually. I've been talking to Bill and Cow a lot because they've been getting a lot of hate. Obviously, I was getting the heat from day one. They only getting hate now. I just think that you guys don't see the full story, so it's hard for me to be upset at you guys or the viewers. You know, like I would never be mad at viewers or take it too seriously because, like, you guys don't know the full story. So it's not fair for me to be upset or crying because you lot think I'm a villain. Like, that doesn't make sense. I can't be upset about you guys. You guys don't know what really happened. Plus, I live a real life. I walk the streets of London and people are laughing and smiling when they see me. So I can't be upset. Like, I live a real life. So it don't really matter to me. Like, but you're calling us dumb. I ain't calling you dumb. Lydia, you're smart. I can tell you're smart. But some of the takes though are dumb though. I can't lie. Like room renter. Yeah, some of your takes. I don't know if you went to school. I don't know if you didn't go to school. If you were homeschooled, I don't know.
You can't shoot and bang. That's a shoot and bang, Jav. That's a shoot and bang. You can't shoot and bang, Jav. That's shoot and bang. That's a hit and run. You can't hit and run. That's a hit and run. That's a hit and run. Someone asked, do you ever feel like you have to protect yourself emotionally whilst you're in a relationship? That's a sensible question.
I think everyone has to protect themselves up to a certain level. And then once they make you feel secure enough or comfortable enough, then I think you need to be able to kind of be able to lean on them. And you shouldn't have to feel like you need to protect yourself. I think if I feel like I need to protect myself, something is wrong. You know? So I think at the start, yes. But over time, I think those walls should come down.
Hey, what books have you read that have had the most impact on your life and the way of thinking?
Good question. There's a good book called The Defining Decade by an author called Megan J. It's I guess it's for young people, but it's about why your 20s are the most important years of your life. There's another book called I mentioned it already, No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. There's another book by I've got my iPad here. I should know and I should know the book. It's gonna annoy me now. I'm gonna have to send it I'm gonna have to send it later. Maybe I'll talk about it on my YouTube channel. There's a third book, but I can't remember. There's a guy, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast like maybe 2-3 years ago. I just found his book. I can't remember what it's called. But those two, I would say give them a read.
So have you I've got a question. Have you ever met a lady who intellectually just gets you and you just get them?
Yes. I have. Probably only 2 or 3 women I can feel like, raw, like this conversation is she's stimulated me. I'm back in contact with one of them now. Actually, I had it was a weird divine intervention moment. I was going to Spain for a stag do, and I saw her in the airport at the security doing, and I tapped her, and I was like, she looked at me, and she started laughing, and basically it was a girl that I met just before I went to America when I was 18. I was 19, 18, and yeah, it was getting on like a house on fire. But then I left. I went to America and I left. And then it was like 10 years later, almost 10 years later. No, 10 years later. Shit. It was by God's grace somehow we come across each other. So we're actually talking right now, but taking it slow. She just got out. She just got out of a relationship. Me, I gotta take my time.
I understand, bro. I love that, man. The mental aspect is important, bro. No one's there, fam. The mental thing it's a necessity, bro.
I think it's important because like for me, obviously I've been on this live. You guys know how I am. You guys know how I interact. Sometimes I don't. Some people say, I deflect or I skirt around the answer. No, I give you guys context to my answer, so I don't just give you the straight answer. Because if I just give you a straight answer, you can interpret it in so many ways. But if I can flesh it out for you, you're able to really understand what I mean when I say something. It's a part of NLP. If some people might know what NLP is, it's how I verbalize things to make sure that people understand what I'm really saying, not guessing what I'm saying. Semantics, yes. Because semantics matter, El Cid. Is it El Cid?
Yeah, El Cid.
They know semantics matter.
She's the same way like you are. That's why she's excited. That's like your twin, boy. That's that verbals.
So, semantics matter. Anyone that says semantics don't matter, I don't trust them, boy. They'll send you to prison. them kind of people send you to jail.
No, but listen. No, I get it though. Listen, for me personally, because that's when you said about the intellectual thing. Like I said, I dated someone, and people didn't understand. Like, it's not like I don't know how to explain it. Like when I first started dating a person, I wasn't really thinking on that level. I was just thinking we vibed, didn't it? I didn't even know at the time that I needed that level of depth. It was only when I got into a relationship, maybe a little bit further, I was like, blood, something's wrong, and I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah,
I was like, something's wrong, and I even spoke to her sister, and I was like, no, her sister gets it. I don't understand that. I get it with her sister. But I'm not sure what it is that the sister's doing. Not that I was trying to do anything to the sister. When I talk to her, it just clicks. It makes sense. You understand the concepts I'm talking about. But when I'm talking to her, it's like it was going over her head. And not that she's bad. It was just like you can tell when the person's responding, they're not even responding to the level of what you're talking about. It's like it's gone over their head. So when they're responding, it's underneath what you've just said. And so it's like, oh, right, like you don't get it. You know what I'm saying to you? And then obviously myself, you got caught up in there. I guess obviously for people who are very intellectual, the art seduction talks about the fun that for us it's people that are more sexually liberal and free that tends to attract you because you're often confined by your own intelligence. So it's like obviously for her, she had that aspect, so I was drawn that way, but I just couldn't stay long because I was like, I just needed to have that. I need to have that intellectual joust. You know what I mean? Give me a little buzzy bass, but intellectually. You know what I mean?
Exactly. All right, 5 minutes. I know I said 10, but let's do 5 minutes and then I'm actually got to go.
See, you're enjoying yourself, Charlie. You understand? Don't worry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah? Have you not eaten today?
Nah.
You got the curry goat and the rice ready, or? Wait, I'm not sure. The mom cooked curry goat and rice?
Yeah. She cooked curry goat. She brought some fried chicken wings. rice and peas. She brought curry goat and some plantain. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
Kelly
That was
said
a
he
nice
really does
check.
deflect because Jamaicans say it straight. The answers are not clear. I like, maybe you're not listening properly, Kelly. Maybe you're just not listening properly.
That's probably one of your people,
Sorry,
then.
maybe you're not. Maybe you're not listening properly. Because
That's probably
everything
one
I
of your
say
people,
is
then.
clear, crystal clear. What's your favorite Jamaican food? You know what? Yeah, people find it weird, but I really like soup. I'm a soup man. I don't know why. I just like soup, dumpling, yam,
It's African you.
green banana. Yeah, I just like soup. You know, I've always been a soup person.
I hear you on that one.
When's your
Dumpling
birthday?
from
October. Are you nonchalant
Oh,
when
you're
dating? Are we missing? Say again.
You're October what?
October 12th.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Mazza. You know what I'm
saying? Are you nonchalant when dating? Are we misinterpreting your dating style? Are you the affectionate type? That is a good question. That's 3 questions in one though, so you're kind of cheating. So am I nonchalant when dating? I would say at first, when I first meet somebody, I'm not going to chase them. I will let them know I'm interested and I want to be with them, but I'm not going to overextend myself, because the minute I overextend myself, women take the piss out of you. So I'm not going to do it. Not all women, obviously. I'm generalizing, but I feel like to have this score, sometimes we have to generalize. But sometimes they take the piss out of you if you overextend yourself. So I got to test the waters and see, do you actually like me? Because once I think you don't like me, I'm not going to do anything more. Are you affectionate? I'm not like a big like PDA fan personally. I'm not like a big. I don't mind, but I'm affectionate in private quarters. You know, I had you don't mind if I say another channel's name here, right?
No, I don't mind. Say whoever you want to say.
I had a conversation with Jessie Wu, and she was like,
Jessie's a friend here.
You know, she was like, oh, you know, Libra men, you know, you're very intimate in private settings. And I'm not really into those whole star sign stuff, but she said that, and I was like, oh, it's interesting that you say that, because that's probably accurate. Like, I am in private settings, that's kind of how I am. So yeah.
Someone asked, they want to know about Patrick's thingy. Apparently, they want to know about your boy, because they want to know if he ginger. Did he ginger in the pause? That's what they're asking. Huh? Did he say that you know he wasn't gonna marry Anu? I mean, they want to know.
Let me put it like this, yeah. Let me put it like this. Let me put it like this. We wasn't surprised that he didn't propose to Annie. You know, like, because he kept coming back to the lounge like, this isn't my person, she's not the one. So in our minds, we're like, oh, so he's not going to propose to her. So, but she kind of came out on a whole different flex. And she basically was like, you know, he was saying, oh, you're going to meet my family, my dad's going to love you, blah, blah, blah. That was obviously, I hadn't met her yet until the mixer. So I didn't know that. And I don't know what their dates were like. So I didn't know he was spitting all these bars. You know what I mean? So yeah, Patrick is how he portrays himself on the telly. He's very calm, softly spoken. He does talk about like splenic awareness and all this spleen stuff. That is real. I mean, that's real to him. But he's not fake. He didn't pretend. From what I saw, he didn't pretend to be something he wasn't. I know Anu has a different relationship with him. And I like both of them. So it's not like, oh, I'm picking sides. I like both of them. I'm friends with both of them. So yeah, I think the whole situation of him becoming a dad and all that stuff, I do think that
in a row.
I believe him when he said he didn't know. He said he didn't know about it before going on to the show. I believe him, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't met the baby mums. She could be, you know, she might have receipts to say differently. Yeah. So that guy who says MK, he lives a double life. That could be true. I don't know though. And I can only take it on double life. Yeah. I can only take it on face value, innit? So I ain't judging a man for something I don't know about.
Someone said, what kind of intellectual conversation are you having, sir?
None right now, boy. None with no women, that's for sure. None with no women at the moment.
Let me ask a question. What's a good chat line that you've used before?
Good chat line.
Or bar you've dropped.
I don't really have bars, you know. I just like if I
You
see
just smile,
someone,
innit?
I just get if I see someone, I just get it cracking, bro. If I see someone, I just like, all right, it's go time.
All
like,
32 teeth just out there, cuz.
It just depends. Like once you catch eye contact, you know what you need to do from there, innit? I just need eye contact. And if I get two looks, if I get a double take, all right, cool, it's go time, innit? Don't hesitate. Be solid. Let me read one positive, then I'm gonna go. Javen, you have great skin. You should fill your wardrobe with nothing but jewel tones, reds, greens, and royal purples and blues. These colors will love you. I'm gonna have to leave on that positive comment.
I love that.
Dahlia, thank you.
Shout out to Dahlia.
Thank you.
Well, listen, Javen, it's been an absolute pleasure, bro. We'll definitely talk behind the scenes and that. You get me? We'll get you back on there on much more lighter tones. But I appreciate you for taking the heat and the fire, and you definitely held your own. So shout out to you, and yeah, man, be blessed, brother. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna
just
leave. Have a wonderful night.
You too, bro. I appreciate you, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Appreciate that. All right, bro. And say shout out to Practitioner for the super sticker as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Caleb Bobs and Moros, thank you for becoming members as well. We appreciate y'all. Honestly, good conversation, and you know, I like him, man. I think he'll be great for the. What do you think? You think he'll be great for the panels, right? I think he immediately set himself into the family. You see how he cushioned himself to the family. I think you guys and girls would love him in a part of the family. If you saw him every week on a panel, I think you would love him. You know what I'm saying? I think you would love having him on the panel. So make sure you go and support his YouTube channel, Javen Palmer, as well. And, you know, go and show some love there as well. Let him know that I sent to you, Javen Palmer on YouTube, okay? All right? So, yeah, exactly. Find why I said, yeah, I like him too. Yeah, of course. Of course. You know what I mean? Of course. Listen, you know what I mean? So, hey, just make sure you like, share, subscribe, and you click on that bell button. Someone said he's a good man, Savannah. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, lot, man. Listen, stay locked, stay there. We'll see you again soon. Much love. Ta-ra, ta-ra.